After almost 2 years of relative silence, it's finally time for Sony to pull back the curtains and reveal their plans for the next phase of the PlayStation 5 and beyond. What do we have to look forward to? Let's talk about it. Finally. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a very, very exciting episode of the XP Podcast. This is episode 51 for the third week of May 2023. I'm your host, Mike C, and joining me, as always, every time, all the time, is my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B.
What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Sorry, I was eating a cookie. Welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 51. Dang, forgot to celebrate the fact that we got to episode 50, but hey, we're 51 now. Yeah.
We didn't forget, I just didn't have any good ideas to celebrate it, so.
That is fair. But yeah, welcome. We have a very exciting week ahead of us, especially a brand new official PlayStation Showcase coming up this Wednesday, which hopefully we are going to be able to record and react to it. I just got to try to stay away from as many spoilers as possible so that I can get into it as fresh as possible. So YouTube, I'm going to have to stay away from is basically what I'm going to have to do.
Only for about, the last hour.
Hours.
Well, last hour you work shift and then you drive home, and then we get home and I'll be ready. I'll be ready to go.
Spoilers too, because people like to somehow always get leaks out like an hour or two before the showcase.
Yeah.
So you gotta stay away from that too. Like The Last of Us Part 1 thing where they literally showcased like it came out like 2 hours before the actual thing went down.
I'm off that day, so I am planning on just sitting like from 3 o'clock until the time that you say I'm home. I'm just sitting on Call of Duty. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not doing anything. Smart. I'm going to pop a 1 hour XP token and just grind out some levels. Not even worry about it. Not even look at my phone. Sit down. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a piece of paper over my screen while I pull up YouTube and just type in PlayStation Showcase and then just go to the full video and just try to not see as much as I can because I'm... We'll talk about it, but I am so excited, and I do not want anything spoiled for me. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good. I don't even know what I was saying now. Yeah, PlayStation Showcase. Exciting. Can't wait. I already have a good idea of what's gonna be there. I think a lot of people have some very crazy theories out there that I really don't believe is gonna be there. But I'm still excited. I can't wait. I mean, it's been over a year, I think, supposedly, since their last big one, right? I think so.
Almost 2 years. September 2021 was the last one.
Damn. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty dang good. Very excited. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much more I can say other than I can't really showcase it, but as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit more closer to the camera. I'm a little bit more closer to the mic. I can't really show it, but I got a new desk. Hooray. For only $20, surprisingly. It was honestly a very good price for what I got. So yeah, I'm happy to actually have a desk so I can actually put my legs under it and it's a lot more comfy and I love that. So, because my last thing I had was this tiny little desk where I was able to fit my monitor and all that and my PC had to sit on the ground. So I'm happy now that I actually can put my PC up on here. It makes me a lot more happier to have it up here. Yeah, so this is a pretty exciting week. I think we should really kind of get into it. So I'm just gonna say I had a pretty good week. Again, I got this new desk. That's really cool. I'll showcase a little thing I got this week. I got this little thing right here. If it will, sadly,
the new Zelda controller.
Wait. There we go. Come on. Whatever. Yeah.
Dude, I will say
I was able to snag one of these. These were like sold out like pretty quickly. So also I should be getting another thing in pretty soon. So I'm very excited. That's really cool. We'll be getting into what I think about Zelda after like almost 30 to 40 hours. I wish I could tell you exact time. I have no idea because Nintendo Switch doesn't tell you for like 2 weeks and then they finally will put it out. I don't know why they do it that way, but whatever. It works. So but yeah, all right.
Damn.
So Mike, how was your week?
Oh, that juicy peach just hit me hard. Yeah, I'm drinking. We always talk about different energy drinks. So Peyton got me some new Alani stuff, which is like
Oh wait,
they
Amy
market.
got me some of those. They're
Yeah,
pretty good.
they
Yeah.
they they market themselves more to like the female, you know, um, crowd and all that. Like all their advertising. But I'm drinking that juicy peach. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I got a new phone case. If we're talking about things I got a new phone case. My old phone case was getting, I think it was kind of clean. It's like this little forest green with a little silver button. So,
Is
but
that matte or is that like the fabric one that you had
no, it's not.
before?
It's not the fabric one, but it is textured on the back. I don't know if you can hear it on
Textured.
the
Okay.
mic.
Yep. I hear it.
Okay.
Actually, surprisingly, I didn't
Yeah,
think it was gonna.
I'm not running software right now. But then the big one that
Oh,
I got, I hope this comes through on video. I got a new blender bottle. Right? It is a insulated metal blender bottle, but
oh, nice.
yeah.
I love that.
That's
That's
sick, isn't
cool.
it? Dude, it's so cool. It keeps my drink so cold. I love it. It was like $40, dude. It wasn't cheap.
Hey, it's cool though. That's a
Yeah.
cool bottle. I like that.
They had a couple different kinds. The Mandalorian ones were like, I gotta go with the OG cover, right? Like the OG Star Wars cover. I gotta go with that. Anyway, work's been good. I forgot to put on sunscreen for one of the days I worked. People don't know out there, I do work pretty much outside all the time. And I forgot, so my saturation of my camera is turned way down if colors look weird because my face is red, pretty much. My natural color is pink, so I'm diving back into that, being a ginger and sunburn and all that.
Yeah.
But it's fine. A lot of people like freak out and everything, like when they get sunburned, like, oh my god, it hurts so bad, which it can, but man, I have such light, I'm a pale face ass dude, so
I
uh
can't really say I have that problem because I've only had a sunburn once in my entire
dude,
life.
I've had sunburns my entire life, so I'm so used to them. I know some people complain, they're like, oh, this hurts so bad. I'm like, I'm used to it. I spend most of my summer sunburnt, so it's probably
Yeah,
good
the
for.
only reason I've ever sunburned is because I try to actually tan. If I try to tan, then I'm gonna burn myself. But I literally have never done that before, and I tan naturally. I could just be out in the sun for a couple hours. I won't burn or anything, and I'll just tan. And it's just like I know I'm lucky on that. I mean, even Amy over here, she has to put sunscreen on. I could just sit out in the sun or walk around, and I'll be fine. I
One of
never
my
burn
one of my
ever.
ex-girlfriends in college wanted me to go tanning with her, and I was like, I don't think you realize how not well that's gonna go for me.
Yeah, that is not gonna go great at all.
My arms do tan, like I do get a tan line and all that during the summer and everything, and they're clearly a lot darker than the rest of my body. But I don't think people understand, like chest and back, like the areas that don't see sun all the time. Um,
Mhm.
they just get pink. There's no tanning happening down there.
Yeah,
So I went with her. I did not tan. She wanted me to tan. I'm like, I'm not getting in that machine. I'm not just laying in UV sunlight. It's like my mortal enemy, dude.
exactly.
Honestly, gingers are the closest things to vampires that exist in
Literally,
humankind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a vampire. That's sad. I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be a werewolf. So, anyway, let's get into it, man. Let's jump into it. I am very excited about that blender bottle. I was excited to show you. So, and then yeah, speaking of new controllers, I don't know if I ever showed it off, but here is my God of War Ragnarok limited edition DualSense controller. That is still well,
I think you have showed that before.
it doesn't come with any tape, but I have not even. I opened this once to look at it, but I didn't take it out of the plastic or anything. So.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's still sitting there in its box. A waste of $85, but whatever. All right, let's jump on into it, guys. Like we do every single week, we start with the question of the week. And like we keep talking about, please, if you're watching these videos, if you like us, if you come to us each and every week for the news and our opinions on some of the latest games releasing, comment down below. Let us know some questions that you guys want us to answer and talk about. They can range from... Well, honestly, anything. Try to keep it, somewhat video game related or pop culture related. Don't, ask us what, our craziest sex fantasies are. I'll answer it because I'm an open book, but like, I don't. That's not what I'm looking for when I ask you guys this. But yeah, comment down below. Let us know some questions of the week. We may even make it a topic of the week, also known as point of the show. But keep on doing that. Keep watching the videos. Keep enjoying it. Anyway, here we go, Mr. Birdman. With the upcoming showcase season quickly approaching, with the state of play, with the Xbox showcase right around the corner, with all the stuff happening around E3, I just wanted to know what components for you personally would make a perfect showcase. in all things length, content, updates, games, whatever, etc. What makes for you a perfect showcase?
Well, first and foremost, um, actual gameplay. I prefer that, and Xbox has a really big problem with that, and I just want lots of gameplay. Obviously, don't stay on one game the entire time for like the whole like half the showcase. Like kind of evenly split it up. Even if it's just a small little snippet of gameplay, I appreciate that way more than you showing me. Oh, I was like, "Ooh, I thought something happened." Sorry. But yeah, like even if it's just like a small like I don't know, 2-minute gameplay or whatever, I'm fine with that. I just appreciate that a lot more than the cinematic trailers. Don't get me wrong, cinematic trailers look cool, but it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't be like, oh, that's what the game's gonna be like. Like back in the day where everyone believed every cinematic trailer was gonna be like the game. Well, guess what? It never ended up being that way, and it still will never be like that.
Yeah,
Not for a while at
Kill
least. So,
Killzone 2 kind of destroyed that whole ideology, which
so it's just like
still an amazing story that how that happened. That was Sony's big fuck up, not Gorilla's.
well, yeah, I just think that's so funny because they showed that and they're like, we haven't even started. And that's I just thought that was hilarious. I mean, they did a pretty good job by the end, anyways. I
They
think they
got
got
as
it
close
pretty
as
close.
they could on the PS3,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I thought it still is a very beautiful game in my opinion. So they did a damn good job for going off of basically a trailer. But yeah, I just want to see gameplay as much as you possibly can. Even if it's 1 to 2 minutes, that's what I want. I want this to probably be maybe at max a 30 to 40 minute little showcase, which would make me happy. I don't want it to be like an hour. Because usually when it's an hour, there's probably something in there that is making it go way too long. But yeah, that's kind of what I want. Just lots of gameplay, good surprises, especially. That's something I'm really hoping for. I especially love in showcases, especially towards the end, they give us a big surprise. I mean, since this is a big showcase I haven't done in a long while, I really hope to God there's a good surprise in here, and I have a few ideas what it could be. So,
We'll get
what
into that
about you,
shortly.
Mike?
Well, for me, I'm actually a little different than you. When it comes to a showcase and when it just comes to a company showing the audience what's coming and what they're working on, I don't care too much about how much gameplay. If we get like a full gameplay trailer in it, I like to see gameplay mixed in. Maybe a couple snippets here and there. But when I'm sitting down watching a showcase, I want to get hyped. I want to get excited. And watching for me, and if it lasts past like a minute of just like continuous gameplay, I get kind of bored. I'm like, okay, I'll just play the game. I just want to know if this is exciting. So for me, in terms of length, I actually like the showcases. The big things is where, once a year, the company comes out and says, here's what we got for you. Or in Sony's case, once every 18 months at this point. um,
Mhm.
I want it to be like an hour 30 minutes tops. Hour 15 I think is perfect, honestly. I want to sit down, have a long discussion, or not a long discussion, a long haul where they give us a lot of content, 2 to 3 minutes per game, trailer, in, out, move on to the next thing. Here's some small indie games. Here's what's coming from our first party. Here's what we have, in terms of exclusive deals that you could only get to play on our console. Tell me why I need to buy this thing. I mean, obviously, I already have the box, but you know what I'm saying from a consumer standpoint. Show me why I need to buy this thing coming up. If you don't have a PS5 yet, I guess God of War didn't do it for you. Don't really know why, but I guess God of War and some of the other things in Horizon that they've showed in what's called the Phase 1 of PS5 didn't do it for you. I guess I need to stop focusing so much on PlayStation. I'm just talking about Xbox too. Like, I think some of Xbox's developer diaries, for me, and something I've said continuously over and over again, so at least I'm consistent, too much gameplay, too much talking, too much time. I'm like, give me a game, 2 to 3 minutes, get me excited, roll out. You can show me a gameplay trailer in a month or so, put that just on the internet so I can sit down and watch it. If I'm interested in it, I'm going to watch it. So for me, their job is to sell me on the game first and foremost, and then to move on to the next thing. In, out, and let's get it going, keep it moving. So that's for me. In terms of content, obviously I want brand new things, surprises, a couple of updates on things that we've already seen maybe, say there's a game that they announced a couple years ago or a year ago. Show us a little bit of gameplay, again, a couple minutes, then move on to next things. Some small things, some big things. Yes, there's always going to be lulls. There's always going to be things that Logan and I don't care about, but there's someone out there that does. So I think there has to be a great mix of that, first party, third party, indie, move it up and down, and try to sparse them in to where the excitement goes up, then it goes down. It's like a roller coaster. It goes up and down. Obviously I don't expect an hour and 15 minutes of just pure fist pumping action. That's really hard to pull off for a single developer. But and that lulls, have just a lull for a little bit and then bring us back up with something cool. A lot of shows like to front end and back end, and that leaves us with 20 minutes of great stuff, but 30 to 40 minutes in the middle of it that's kind of boring. So I think it needs to be paced well, executed well, with a lot of content just thrown in your face. So that's mine. That's what I love to see, and I guess that is based mostly on the PlayStation stuff that they've done with their showcases and all that. So, but that's why I love them. I think they're pretty darn good at this kind of stuff. So some of their state of plays aren't great, but the showcases are usually really good. I don't think we've ever gotten a showcase that isn't really good. So
I honestly think everyone has kind of stepped up their game a lot.
yeah.
I actually really like what Nintendo does. Again, they're very just like up next, they all do it their own different way. I guess everyone has their own preferred method, but I do like what Xbox is doing now. I don't think they need to go as hard as they do in the cinematography. Like, goddamn, don't get me wrong, beautiful, but you don't need to do that. You don't need to be that hard. I guess they really kind of like the whole E3 aspect of kind of really showing that they got money. So they want to have cool showcases with awesome cinematography and people up there on seats being interviewed and everything. It's their own method of doing it, but I do think they've gotten a lot better at actually just showing more gameplay and stuff. So I'm excited for the showcase coming up this summer. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what they have in store. Hopefully something good, please. I beg you, Xbox. I just want something good, something great. But that's not what today is about. It's about the PlayStation. So, yes.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but I was mostly just saying just showcases in general, like what you prefer. But anyway, we both answered that, so let's like the showcases, keep it going, get it moving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is in fact the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every Monday at 8 a.m. so you can listen to it throughout the week or whenever you desire. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the XP Podcast, please support us over our Patreon, where you get to be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Points, spelled capital X, capital PERIENCEPOINT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry. We still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. We can get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. New episode reminders for you. Episode 50 is up. It's live. It was a good episode. I said a major milestone that we did not celebrate at all, but whatever. In it, we talked about Phil Spencer opening up on the Redfall disaster and Xbox as a brand. We actually had a really, really good, in-deep discussion where we both criticized and appreciated some of the things that Phil Spencer had to say in that essentially now infamous interview with Kind of Funny XCast. We also talked about God of War, COD 2023, and whatever the hell's going on with that. Game Freak also introduced a new IP, so we talked about that, and then so much more. So go check that out if you want. Not if you want, go check it out right now. Come on back to us and hear what happened this week and what we have to say this week. With all that out of the way, though, let's get into this week's show. In our point of the show, we are giving you our full, unfiltered thoughts on what could possibly be the last great MCU movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3, in our spoiler talk in point of the show. And around the point, PlayStation, as we said, has finally announced their showcase for 2023. So Logan and I are going to sit down and predict what could be here, what's not going to be here, and what we hope is here. Like we talked about last week, though, the next Mortal Kombat game has seen its official reveal. And after making their first TV show in the Lord of the Rings universe, Amazon has decided it's time for another MMO set in the Tolkien world, and so much more. Then in LTR, we dive into the reviews for this week's games. But before we get to all that, it's time for what is and forever will be the rundown, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether they be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter to us because we like it all and love to talk about it. So, Mr. Birdman, tell me about Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, dude, this game just gets better and better the more I play it. I wish I could tell you exactly again how long I played it. I'm gonna guess 30 to 40 hours by now. I have put a lot of time in this game recently. I've been very addicted to it. I mean, as of right now, all I want to do is pull it up again and start playing again. Um, I will I fully believe this. I think this game is way better than Breath of the Wild in just about every way. I find the world to be far more interesting. I find the gameplay to be just more enjoyable. Especially puzzle solving in this game feels so much more satisfying, and in general opens up a lot more variety in the way that you can get some of these puzzles done. In Breath of the Wild, there was a lot of variety in a sense to how to get puzzles done and figure them out. But this game takes that and cranks it all the way up to 11. There is so much more ways you can actually solve puzzles in this game. And usually, again, I'm not a big puzzle person, so I don't really care about them that much. But this game is probably, and I mean this full-heartedly, I think this is the best game with puzzles ever. I think I've never enjoyed puzzles more than this game ever. No other game has come close to this. Um, the puzzles are fantastic. They're fun. Again, I like that there's so much more variety in how you can do them. There are so many times where I definitely broke it, but did it my own way. And that's what I love about this game. Like, I think what they already were starting with Breath of the Wild, with this whole, like, do things how you want, I feel like this game truly hit that, where you do things how you want. It could be the most unconventional way possible, building a stupid bridge of logs like I did that literally made no sense, but I probably could have just went right and crossed this bridge that they offered. No. I wanted to make my own bridge. And that's what I mean by this game straight up just lets you do it how you want. And Breath of the Wild started that. I think Tears of the Kingdom nailed it. And just the all the new stuff they added to this game. I guess if you want to skip a little bit ahead, I'm not saying any story spoilers, none of that. I will not ruin anything about the story at all, but I also will respect you for wanting to skip ahead, because this game I feel like you really do need to play fresh and everything. And like, you need, if you don't care about, like, I don't know, like certain new features added to this game, then you probably should skip ahead a little bit. But it's nothing about like a build. I'm not talking about any new abilities that haven't been shown. I'm not going to be talking about like any bosses that I fought in the game. I just want to talk about the new addition to of caves. Caves in this game are so good. Oh, I thought you okay, no.
No, my head itched.
Oh,
Freaking
okay.
sunburn, dude.
But yeah, no, the new cave system now that they added to this game, and especially with all the wells basically adding caves to this game. Dude, this game is just, the more and more I explore it, the more I'm like, dude, this game is absolutely gigantic. I barely explored this map and I played 40 hours. Guess what? I've only done one of the four big quests in this game. And I played for 40 hours. Probably. I don't know, 30 to 40. I don't know exactly how long. But that's insane. I've literally only done one. And that's because every time I'm going from point A to point B, it is straight up an adventure. I run into so many different things. I run into caves, I run into outposts, I run into random civilians that may need my help with something. I'll run into like a village where they have a bunch of quests. and all the side quests so far have been extremely fun. I've been really enjoying it. I think they've changed a lot of the locations that we know of from Breath of the Wild by a lot, like completely in some ways. Um, it's just addicting. Like I haven't had this much fun playing a game since Elden Ring. And I mean that. I literally get home every day. And don't get me wrong, Resident Evil 4 this year was also up there, but that's also a shorter game. But I feel like I haven't been this evolved with a game, especially a very long game, since Elden Ring. And I've just been so addicted to this game. It has been so good. It is extremely fun. Every day I play it, I find something new. I think they heavily increased the enemy variety in this game, which has me unbelievably excited because I feel like Breath of the Wild didn't have as much enemy variety as I would wanted. But that's what I mean by that. This game is the Ragnarok of that, where literally Ragnarok did the exact same thing, where they increased everything, they went hard, and they did everything better, in my opinion, than 2018. Some people may not agree with that, but I think it's way better in 2018. And I feel like this game is the same way. I think this game is far better than Breath of the Wild. I think it's a lot more enjoyable. I feel like the world is a lot more living. They have a lot more going on at all times. There's so much variety in its locations when you have the sky, the ground, and then sorry again if you don't want any of these, but there's an underground. And that is just insane, by the way, when you go down there. I think that's the most impressive new thing they added to this game is that underground area. It is so cool and it's just amazing to explore. Like it's really, really good, but it's also difficult, but it's so fun to explore and I'm loving it. And just in general, this game so far has just been absolutely amazing. I full-heartedly think they nailed it with this game, and it definitely deserves the ratings that it's getting. It has been just so much fun. I haven't had a single day or a single hour where I'm like I'm bored. I've just been super into this game. So yeah, sorry I went on to a long little not a rant, but I
Why
went
do I
on and
care?
just yeah, it's fair.
I don't
But
care.
yeah, I will say if you've been thinking about this game, maybe you think it's for some reason a DLC, like a lot of people keep thinking, it's not. It is far, far, far away from being a DLC, and this game is beyond worth it. And I think from a lot of people I said, I didn't play a lot of Zelda games, so I can't really speak on it. But I will say this is the best Zelda I've played, but I've only played Breath of the Wild in this. But a lot of people, even big fans I've seen out there, are saying this is the best Zelda game. Full stop. So yeah, I agree with them. I think this is also the best Nintendo Switch game to ever come out. It is the best one. Yeah, just if you have a Switch, I think even though it's $70, that's a little bit hard to, like that's a bit much, but I think it's fully worth it. Like, and I mean that. I don't usually like paying $70 for video games. This game is worth the $70 price tag for sure. So, yeah.
I mean, like we talked about last week, anyone who says this game's DLC or it's not worth the price of admission, honestly, if someone says it to me, I immediately think you don't know what the hell you're talking about when it comes to video games. Like, you don't know
Yeah.
anything. You don't know what it takes to make these games. You don't know how these companies, publicize these games and show these games. Like, frankly, maybe I'm a little bit of an asshole in that regard, but I just simply think you don't know what you're talking about. Go play Madden. Go play fucking Call of Duty, even though I play Call of Duty, but I play a lot more than that. So I don't know. I don't want to be an asshole when I say that, but I guess I am.
But most of the time they don't even play the game, so they
Yeah.
don't even know.
You just
They're just looking at a trailer and they're like, "Oh, it's DLC."
yeah. You just simply have no clue what you're talking about.
God of
That
War Ragnarok, that's a DLC.
yeah. Just because
But
something looks the same.
which,
Again,
by the way, I'm not gonna name the podcast I listened to this week because I don't again want to make people upset. But
you should text it to me real quick while you're talking about it.
I wish I here. Maybe I'll do it in Discord.
I can't see that, but
Oh yeah, you're right.
wait, no, 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 no. I can pull up Discord on my phone. Never mind.
Okay.
Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. No, it doesn't. You're good.
Okay.
Never heard of him. Don't care.
Okay. So they made like a episode recently about Tears of the Kingdom, and they were going on and they kind of contradicted themselves because they were talking about how like people were saying it's DLC or it's not a lot making a lot of like changes, and they're like they obviously were stating that there is a lot of changes, it's not a DLC. But then they went on to say that God of War Ragnarok was nothing new, and it was basically just the same game from back in the day. And I'm like, so you just contradicted yourself, because God of War Ragnarok is far more, has so much more going on, yet you're gonna say that, like, what? Like, why would you even, like, what? That's just a bad take. Like, did you even beat the game? Did you even play all Ragnarok? Because Ragnarok is far different in many ways than what 2018 was. But yet you're gonna say that Tears of the Kingdom is different. So like, it just sounds like you just don't like PlayStation games. Is more like it. You don't like God of War. So I thought that was a bad take that I listened to this week. I just thought that was really dumb, because I'm like, it's really funny because you'll say the exact same thing. You'll literally protect Tears of the Kingdom, but then you'll bring up a game that is pretty much the exact same thing as this, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, but that game is nothing new, like. But I'm like, so you just sound like a fanboy, is what you sound like. You're just a fanboy, and you just don't like PlayStation that much. So I just think that's really dumb. I just like, think that was a bad take I heard this week, and I'm like, why? Just that is like full-heartedly a fact that was just a bad take. So
Well, honestly, a little bit of self-promotion here. By the way, I'm using hand sanitizer. It looks like I'm doing something much different, but I'm trying to get hand sanitizer out of this fucking bottle. But anyway, a little bit of self-promotion here. That's one thing I kind of pride us on. Is yes, we are fanboys. You like Xbox, I like PlayStation more than the other. Like, I like
I don't
PlayStation
know
more than...
anymore, but
Oh,
I would
okay,
say
well, fair enough. I like PlayStation more than Xbox, but I like to think that we are entirely fair in our criticisms. I've criticized Sony plenty of times. I mean, I think they are very, very business heavy, and they do not feel like they appeal to just your average person. They feel like they're like, or sorry, I feel like they feel like they're top echelon, top dog, so they can do whatever the hell they want. And
Mhm.
granted, yes, they are technically top dog. I still don't think you should act like that. So I think we do a good job of being non-fanboys, even though, yes, we do have our likes and dislikes, and I clearly like PlayStation more than I like Xbox, but I don't hate Xbox. I just want them to do better because, quite frankly, I think that they kind of
Well,
suck
yeah, I
right
want them
now.
to do better too, because
All right, I'll run through
force
my...
them to. Oh, go on.
No, you're good. I was just gonna run through my stuff. I haven't really
Mhm.
done too much different. Like, I mean, I've played a lot of games, but like nothing new and nothing. I'm working on the platinum for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I still think the game is absolutely fantastic. I'm wanting to do a review, but I don't know. The more away from the release it gets, I don't really know how much I could say that hasn't been said. But maybe we'll sit down and we'll do a short one. I'll just tell people my opinion real quick. But yeah, I'm still working on the platinum for that. The good news is the game is designed so much better that the platinum isn't annoying like it was in the first one. I don't get stuck in worlds. I can easily get out of things. And like I told you, your biggest criticism was the map design and the traversal in
Mhm.
Fallen Order. This game's so much better. There's always a meditation point is what they call it. There's a bonfire close by.
Mhm.
You can get back to it. There's shortcuts everywhere. It does take a little bit. There's sometimes I get a little lost and I have to pull up the map and kind of look at the map for a minute or so and be like, all right, where do I have to go to get to here? But it hasn't been that annoying. I jump on every once in a while and play it. But I've been heavy on Call of Duty this week, actually. I don't know what it is. I'm feeling it, man. I love playing it.
I'm happy to hear it, honestly.
You're not playing it now, which is annoying.
We could play some tonight.
All right, good bet. I will,
Yeah,
because,
it's just.
I get
I'm
it.
sorry.
Tears of
I'm
the
in that
Kingdom.
hype mode right now.
I
So,
get
but
it. I get it.
I am trying to step off and play some other games occasionally.
Yeah.
So
I'm in a
yeah.
lull right now. I don't really have anything that I want to play. We are now exactly, well, was one month plus 1 day away from Final Fantasy 16, which is probably my next big game that I'm going to just absorb myself in. You're never going to hear from me. I'm never going to do anything else. So I get it. I'm just kidding. I will go off and play some Call of Duty if everyone's free. But yeah, I've been heavy into that. I've been playing it quite a few hours each night, just jumping on, doing some grinds, doing some camos, getting some stuff leveled up. I'm very annoyed that Call of Duty and Activision and Infinity Ward continue to just change things for no apparent reason. Like the newest thing, they combine shipment and shoot house into one playlist now called Shoot the Ship, and it is almost impossible to jump right into shipment if that's all you want to play. Like last night, I had to reset the match 8 times to get shipment to pull up. I just kept Xing out, going back in, Xing out, going back in. It's like, why won't you just let us do the things we want to do? Some people just want to get the camel grinds and the kill grinds and other things done. And shipment's the best thing for that. And I actually have a lot of fun playing shipment, even though, yes, it's hectic, chaotic, you die immediately. Yeah.
That's what I love about it. It's just so chaotic. Like, it's just, even if you die a lot, it's just chaotic and fun. And then there's those occasional moments where you just pop off and you're getting, like, so many kills, and it's great.
And it's awesome. Just
a satisfying, crazy map.
Yeah, I wanna pop on an XP token and just go play shipment for an hour. You know, but I can't do that now. I have to freaking keep canceling out and reloading into the queue to try to get shipment to pull up. Because while I like Shoot House, it's fun. That's a more traditional Call of Duty map, even though it is smaller, and it's a sniper's fucking paradise. I hate every time I get killed by a sniper, a guy just posted up at that middle section, that long row. Got so annoying. So I just want to play shipment. That's all I want to do. Sometimes I just want to get on there and play shipment. Other times when we play, we go to the regular queue. We do all sorts of different modes. We just play Call of Duty. But sometimes when I'm by myself, I just want to play shipment. I just want to get some level done. But can't do that anymore. So fuck you, Activision and Infinity Ward. Whoever's the blame, fuck off. But yeah. But yeah, just been doing that. Again, watching some random TV shows. Thought of this new cop show called SWAT. I watch that at night when I'm trying to go to bed. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Don't need to get into it here, but that's pretty much all I've been doing. Said a lot of Modern Warfare. I probably put up at least like 10 to 12 hours into Modern Warfare this week, so it's pretty much what I'm doing. This coming week, though, I have a big gap. I mean, I'm off the entire middle of the week, so which sucks for the money, but it's what I got a girlfriend for, so she makes way more than I do anyway. So, but yeah, you know, we can play every single night if you want. After you put a couple hours into Tears of the Kingdom, we can sit down, play. Said, I'm into it right now. I'm into that feeling. I'm not too much into Warzone just because, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I've been really in the mood to just play multiplayer.
Yeah, it's just a sit down.
I do love Warzone. I do want to get back into it a little bit, but I like jumping back and forth, you know?
For me, it's just like, it's the only reason why I like multiplayer and co-op games. It's just to sit down, just hang out. Hang out with you, hang out with my friend Andrew, who hasn't been on because he's been moving and all that, but just sit down, hang out, talk, and, you know, just play some games. Every once in a while, we get a very annoying game. Although, dude, the other day,
I feel like the other day we really just were. Had some matches.
I was by myself, and it was the first time I really felt the SBM. I did good for like 3 or 4 games. I sent you guys a couple of the screenshots. I was like carrying teams over here, and then I got into a lobby with 5 out of 6 max level players.
Oh my god!
You want to know my scoreboard for this game? I went 11-42.
Oh my god!
I was like, well, I am just not this skilled at this game. Like, I'm decent at the game. I'm good. I can carry I'm not gonna be the guy that ruins the game for people. But like, dude, I couldn't compete. Like, these guys were jumping around. I couldn't get a single shot. I was done. I was trashed, and I got really mad.
That control match we had when we played last, that was the worst match I think I've ever experienced.
That was more of those guys were clearly cheating.
I'm pretty sure they were definitely cheating because they were instantly locked on to us every time.
Yeah.
And I call bullshit. And honestly, that sucked. So yeah, clearly, by the way, I played some Alpha 2 as well. But, you know, I really have nothing more to say. You guys have heard me a million times and Mike talk about it, but it's fun still. It's a good time. Monopoly. We know how that is. My last thing I want to bring up this week, though, is Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3. Sadly, I didn't get to watch it before our last episode where Mike got to do it because it would have been really fun to kind of talk about it at the same time. But we did get to talk about it off episode. But I just want to get my quick non-spoiler thoughts out real quick before we do get into the point of the show. But I will say it was absolutely fantastic. I think they absolutely nailed this movie. I already had a lot of faith in this movie because I thought 1 and 2 were honestly insanely good movies. Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy were both very amazing movies in my opinion. I think he did a great job on both of them. I find that they honestly have been pretty flawless. And then I feel like this one came out, and I feel like they really went hard in this one. I think this is the best one of the three. I totally agree with Mike on that. I still don't know if this is better than No Way Home for me, but in some ways I do kind of agree with you it being better. So it's still very difficult. I feel like I need
See,
to put like
I
numbers
never.
down on paper to figure
I,
out like what I think is better because I don't know. I'm not
yeah.
saying you're wrong. I'm just
No.
saying like I don't know
I never
either.
ifto facto said it. I just said that's in my head, and it was
Well, yeah,
surprising to
yeah,
me
yeah.
that it's there. Like I'm thinking, like, is it? I still don't actually think it is because Spider-Man: No Way Home to me is a very special movie. It's less about MCU and more about just my
Mm-hmm.
entire life of being a Spider-Man fan, him being my favorite character. So it's probably not. Is it a better movie, like technically and filmography sake? Maybe. I don't know. Again, the fact that I just had that thought pop into my head when I was leaving the theater, well, technically when I was driving home, I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!" Like I actually had to think that. So I still don't think I would put it higher. It's right there, which is all the props in the world I can give to it. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's better one way or the other. It's just like the fact that it's up there took me completely by surprise. So that's
Yeah,
what I
I
was trying to
definitely
get
think
to.
this is like I think this is probably up there in my top 5 now in the MCU though, for
Oh,
sure. And it is a damn good movie. It's a must watch, guys. Sadly, this is gonna probably be the last much must watch because I really don't have faith in the rest of the MCU at this point. And we're losing a very good director with this, but he is moving on to other superhero stuff, which will hopefully get a lot better, in my opinion. Hopefully, like DC and everything. So I'm gonna hope he can nail it over there, and hopefully he could bring DC up. And heck, who knows? Maybe in a couple years, DC will be the new MCU. It will be better. And who knows? I mean, honestly, Disney is digging a grave at this point, and it seems like DC is gonna have a revival. Hopefully, who
all right.
knows?
Well, put a score
Um,
on it real quick, and then we will jump right into pots so we can talk in depth about this movie. So,
5 out of 5.
all right, that was easy. I figured it was coming. So,
Yeah, it was a damn good movie, guys. Again, go watch it. It does hit the emotions pretty
hard,
hard.
dude.
Couple
Fucking
scenes,
hell.
like they nailed it. I already had a feeling I was gonna have some emotions, especially with that trailer. I was like, ooh, some bad's gonna happen. And again, this movie was an emotional roller coaster, and it was phenomenal. And also, again, totally agree, Mike. This is a very good sequel. I especially love that, unlike another movie called Doctor Strange, this is an actual sequel. It doesn't just forget about what happened at the end of the last movie. No, it's still a part of this. And so I appreciate that. And I also think the villain is really good in this movie. It definitely has a lot of motivation for the heroes to defeat him. And just in general, it's also just sad, but also a good movie in general. I
All right.
love it.
So
So,
5 out of 5 from both of us. We'll
mhm.
definitely in one of our rank 'em shows. We're gonna go through and do the MCU. That's gonna be a long show, but we're gonna go through and rank the MCU. It's one of our favorite things to talk about. So we're gonna go now to Potts, also known as our point of the show, and this is gonna be our full detailed spoiler talk on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We talked a little bit when we were hanging out on Call of Duty the other day, but we haven't there was a lot going on. There was like 3 people talking, so we haven't really just had a self chance. Me and you sit down, talk about all the things we loved about it. So, guys, I put it in the timestamp down below. You can skip ahead if you haven't seen it yet. Then come on back to the episode, hear what we had to say about some of your favorite parts. So here we go. Spoiler talk in 3, 2, 1. No one died.
Yep, no one died.
I
And
couldn't believe it. I
dude,
I was
no,
ready for someone to die.
this movie, the entire time was
Hold on,
definitely trying to get people to think someone was going to die.
my shorts
Because
were riding up.
at the very beginning, we had Rocket get shot and basically foaming out his mouth, and I'm like, God damn, I'm like, what the fuck? Secondly, that scene where Drax gets shot twice, I'm like, are you serious right now? Drax is gonna die? I was like, they literally kept playing this game of like who's gonna die kind of thing, and it was really scaring me because I'm like, dude, they're gonna kill Drax? Like what? I was like, they kept doing that over and over and over again. I'm like, someone is going to die. I feel like it, and then no one did, and I'm not mad because it's just like it was kind of like a fun game of like them kind of tricking us into thinking someone was going to die by
Yeah.
the end of this movie.
I thought it was actually happening. I thought, you know,
Yeah.
I thought all the teases throughout the movie and everything were like giving us that like, oh, is it hit? Nope, not here. And then I thought we were gonna get the boom, Star-Lord dies. I thought
Yeah, that would have
that
been
was gonna
crazy.
be I thought that was gonna be the death. And I was like, damn, well played. And then he doesn't die, he gets saved. And real quick, I'll get my one minor criticism out of the way because I think everything in this movie is actually fairly brilliant and well done. I think they missed the mark with a little bit of narrative impactment with Star-Lord's fake death. I feel like Gamora should have been the one to save him because
Yeah.
that would have brought us full circle back to what happened in the first movie with him saving Gamora from the exact same situation. So I think they missed a little bit of narrative impactfulness there, having Adam Warlock save him. Um, and I guess my only other
I
minor
do love
criticism.
how they're doing the cloud joke where he was like he had his finger out and then he
Yeah.
goes like his yeah. I'm like, all right, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, so
That was
that
pretty
is
good.
my only real big. It's not even a negative. It's just like I kind of wish they would have done something different there. But other than that, dude, this movie fucking killed it, dude. I said everything was emotional. I teared up. I cried. I laughed. I got everything I could have wanted from not even a superhero movie. Everything I asked for when I sit down and I pay money to watch a movie. This movie delivered tenfold. It is long. I said 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's actually 2 hours and 30 minutes, the official runtime. It is the
Hmm.
longest Guardians movie. And I think the biggest praise that I can give to this movie, and I think I talked about it last week, but I don't fully remember, is every single character gets a plot line and a culmination. Even the dude who I don't remember his name, he's the Ravenger that takes over the little head thing
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah,
other.
yeah.
He gets an entire story arc, and it actually gets resolved. He has this problem. He has essentially male performance problems, and which is funny. But he solves them at the end of the movie, and like he is technically a minor character. He's not even a main character, even though it looks like he is now. But every single character from top to bottom gets an entire arc, and they close it off. You know, and I just think that's how they were able to pull that off. It's very similar to like we said with Infinity War in that how do you make a movie with that many main characters and you pull it off somehow? I think, the MCU has struggled and limped along a lot right now, but we still get those few moments that shows us why they're so good. And because they are able to write movies with essentially six main characters that works. What other movie do you know has this many main characters and this many plot lines that all come to a satisfying culmination outside of the MCU?
What do you mean? Like how many movies?
No, I said name
Just
another movie that has this many characters, this many main characters, and this many plot lines that all come to a culmination in a satisfying way. Most movies have one or two main characters, a plot line,
Mhm.
culmination. You said Infinity War, Infinite War. Oh my God,
Infinite War. More like Endgame,
Infinity
technically.
War. Oh yeah, I guess that does kind of leave it hanging. But like Endgame,
Yeah.
yeah, they just they managed to do things that I don't think is possible because it used to be the rule of thumb. You can't have too many characters. You can't have too many villains. You can't have too many main characters. There's not enough time in a 2 hour plus movie to
Well, it's more
present things
crazy the
in.
fact that like Endgame and Infinity War were both like 3-hour movies. This was only 2.5 hours, and they
Well,
were able
Infinity
to
War
fit
is
in
2 hours and 38 minutes. Endgame is 3 hours.
what?
Yeah, yeah,
Really? Oh,
two
huh.
hours 38 minutes. I believe so.
But I feel like this movie has so much that happens
Yep,
surprisingly
two
in
hours
just
twenty
two
nine
hours. I
minutes.
mean,
It's actually
like I think
shorter.
it's
It's 1 minute
really
shorter than Guardians 3.
yeah, and again, but like I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy has probably the most like they perfected the pacing for it the entire time. I feel like they somehow nailed it all the way through. I don't know how they did it, but like I feel like there's so much that happens in that movie, and it's only 2.5 hours. Like I don't think I've ever seen a movie at least not a lot of movies where it was only 2.5 hours and so much happened within those 2.5 hours. It was kind of insane.
I
And again,
mean,
yeah, so many characters, so many plot lines they go through. I mean, they have Quill's story, we have Gamora's story going on, we have Nebula's story kind of
dude,
going on throughout
Nebula
it.
is
We
so
have
good in here.
Drax and uh, I got her name. Come on,
Mantis.
Mantis. They have their literally everyone has
That's
a
what I'm
really good
saying.
like story. I don't know how they do it. Like it's so good, and it's like and they do it so well too because like, you'll have like they'll like jump between them and it doesn't feel like they're jumping around too much. Like it feels smooth, it feels natural, and I love it. It's just yeah, I don't know how much more to say about that, but yeah, I
I
think
mean,
it's great. Especially the intro of this movie, dude, is so good. I especially love like, you get this like calming thing where it's like Rocket walking around, listen to music, and then jumping around to all the characters and everything. And I love that how just like boom, the movie starts. And it's like again, it has that kind of Infinity War kind of beginning where it just kind of throws you in, and I love that so much. I love when movies just throw you in. They're not doing this huge introduction thing. Like it straight up just throws you in, and like stuff's going down right then and there, and it gets right into the action, and especially the scary moment of well, Rocket almost about to die, which was kind of insane. And I love how they introduced uh Rocket's backstory because pretty much this entire movie has been mostly about Rocket's backstory. I would say most of it was pretty much about that, and I love how they introduced it, and I also just I don't know. I especially love how they do a good job of introducing the adventure that they're about to go on too. Because I was curious, I'm like, what is this like? How are they going to do this story? Because all the trailers were showing all these different things. And I'm like, huh, how is like how like what is the adventure this time? What is the main goal? And I never really noticed throughout all the trailers that Rocket wasn't in many of those trailers. I never thought about that. For some
Rocket's
reason.
unconscious for
Yeah,
80% of
like
this movie.
yeah. Yeah, and so I didn't expect that. I totally forgot about that. I didn't for some reason I didn't notice that in all the trailers at all. I didn't notice that Rocket wasn't in there. I should especially known in that first part of the adventure where they're jumping out in space in the suits. I should have known there was no small person in any of those suits. So I was like, "Oh, well I should have guessed that." I had no idea. So I love how they did this adventure in this movie. I think it's fantastic. I love the emotions going on, especially with like Star Lord being like, "No, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm willing to risk my life." And it kept like that was like the whole running joke throughout the whole of the movie, where like Gamora's like, "Are you guys serious? You guys are just like, we
Yeah.
could leave, like we could survive." And he's like, "No, we're gonna go in and do it anyways." And it's just like,
Dude, it's
why?
it's so funny. It's like, the whole part where
And the
they
comedy hits
yeah,
every
where they
time they
escape the
nail it.
ship and he's like, I have a way of getting out of things. And then, like you jumping off a ship without a parachute is a good way to get out of something. It's like this whole joke. I am kind of saddened to see the critical reception from it. It's confusing to me. Like the game has a 60 the game. The movie has a 64 on Metacritic.
Wait, from the critics?
Yeah.
Are you
And
serious?
even more surprising is a 7.9 from user score. And I'm like, what do you guys want? You want to hear
What was bad about
you
it?
want to hear the most stupid review of all time? This is from Michael Phillips from the Chicago Tribune, and I don't care if I call you out, not that you know who I am, but the full-on assault on the audience's tear ducts in much of Guardians 3 may be sincere, but the rhythms and pacing of the movie never find the beat. We end up waiting for the reductive punchline or for another round of wanton slaughter. 25.
I just don't get people, man. Like, where do you get off? Like, what is like? I don't understand what people were wanting from this. I think people are super bitter at this moment with MCU, so they just kind of, I feel like they just kind of look at everything in a negative aspect.
And hey, I get that.
But
We don't like the MCU, but you still have to, if you're
you still gotta like
if you're gonna
watch
criticize,
the movie.
if you're gonna criticize something, you have to criticize it. Like, I do not like the MCU right now. I do not like where Star Wars is.
I don't
like,
either.
I'm very critical, but I have to sit back and say this movie's fucking fantastic. But I don't think it saves the MCU in any way,
I forgot to put this in here, but in my rundown, so I'm gonna throw it in here real quick. People probably won't even know about it, but I will say, Mandalorian season 3, very good. I watched the whole thing recently. I forgot to put that in here for some reason, but very good. So Star Wars is still good. They still got some good stuff coming out, and I think Mandalorian season 3 has been very good. Okay, well, yeah, but we have Andor coming out.
That's
I'm
true.
excited about it. But okay, back to the spoiler thing we were talking about. That's just wrong. Like, I think this movie does an insanely good job of pacing its story. It doesn't feel like it's jumping around constantly. It really, in a sense, for 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think they do a really good job of taking their time. They don't go and they don't just do this heist and it only lasts maybe 15 minutes and then it jumps to the next scene. No, like they take their time at each location that they get to. They take time to introduce these worlds that they're going into. Especially love the what do they call it? It was something Earth.
Earth, opposite Earth, Earth 2. It's Earth 2 pretty much.
Something, yeah, I think it's like Earth 2. And I especially love that when they got there and everything. And I love that, like, he's like, I especially love the joke when he goes to like the pyramid thing and he's like, yeah, I make the perfect world. Oh, really? Is that why there's an octopus selling crack to like all these things? He's like, wait, they're not doing that. I'm like, I love that. Like, it's so just, I loved especially when they're there because they're all like, I love them going into like looking at all these different like opposite Earth thing where like they have all the pictures and you can definitely tell what time period it is. It's like what, like the 70s probably.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. I especially love that like they again show that Quill left as a kid, so he didn't know how to drive a car, which makes complete sense. He's never drove a car before, so I think that's complete. Especially, it's funny because
we get our first F-bomb.
He can't fly. He can't drive a car.
We get our first F-bomb in the MCU. Open the fucking door.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that was hilarious.
When that actually, I was watching an interview with James Gunn, and they were talking about the F-bomb because that's technically a big thing. And he said that it technically wasn't supposed to be the first one. There was supposed to be an F-bomb in Endgame. Actually, Joe and Anthony Russo were gonna do it, and Kevin Feige said, "Yeah, you can do it. That's fine. But is that what you want? Is that what you want your legacy to be at the MCU? Because they left after that movie too, and they decided that's not how they wanted to end it. So he told James Gunn that, and James Gunn was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." I'm cool with my legacy in the MCU being the guy who dropped the F-bomb. I'm fine with that.
I'm still baffled by the fact that it's a 64. I'm actually really hurt by that right now. Like, I don't understand why. Like, what? Like, you... Why?
Well,
what did they review the Volume 2 and Volume 1?
So Volume 1 has a 76, Volume 2 is a 67, and Volume 3 is a 64.
Okay, well, now I understand. The critics just don't like Guardians of the Galaxy, from what I can tell. That is so dumb, dude. I think they... I'm kind of hurt by that. I think it's so dumb, but whatever. Obviously, I never, ever, I mean, again, people probably aren't listening right now, or if you have watched a movie, you are listening. Obviously, don't trust the critics, because most of the time, they're wrong.
Now,
so I'd rather them,
So go ahead. I would say the Rotten Tomato score is a little more glowing. 82 on the tomato meter, 94 on the audience score, so that's a little bit more.
Okay, so they're right.
Yeah.
I now trust Rotten Tomatoes way more. That seems a lot more up to like what I would assume it to be. I don't ever expect everyone to completely agree with us on like 5 out of 5. You obviously can have your own opinion. It could be a 3 out of 5, whatever. But like, I feel like if you're just gonna go out and say it's a really bad movie with a 25, I think you're just wrong.
It's technically still scored, even on Rotten Tomatoes, as the technically the worst of the Guardians trilogy. 92 for the first one, 85 for the second one, 82 for the third one. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
I,
I
I,
don't
I don't
either.
know
I think
what they're
this is
looking at
the
here.
best one, and I think also all of them do a really good job with their soundtrack. Always nailing it, like always. And, cinematography's great. I think the CGI is insanely well done. You could definitely tell that they put a lot of effort into their CGI in these movies. I think Rocket and Groot look super good. I actually didn't hate Groot as much as I thought I would with his new look because I still think it's a little weird, but I mean, we got to see that he can kind of change his form, which I was like, okay, I see it now. That's
Yeah.
not that bad. Like that's cool, especially in the end credit scene, dude. You seen him in this big bulky dude. I'm like, oh my god, dude, he's
Yeah.
huge.
Speaking of Groot, we get and I have a little bit of not insider information, I guess. James Gunn said it, but we get his first technically spoken line of dialogue in this movie.
Yeah,
And
I love you guys.
I read
Yeah,
a lot of people that were very weirded out by that. And I guess in the movie it kind of took me aback. I was like, okay, I don't get that right there, but the way James Gunn phrased it, and I think he should have done a better job of displaying this in the movie, but that was his way of bringing you into the fold, bringing you into the family. So the audience understands Groot for the first time, like all the characters have for this long. So it was the first time we've understood Groot without the need of someone else telling us what was happening or what he was saying. So it was James Gunn's way of bringing the audience into the family of the Guardians for the first time. And I think that's awesome knowing that outside of the movie. I wish somehow he would have done a better way of transcribing that to the
I
film.
think what they could have done a little bit better instead of having to explain it outside of the movie is they should have said "I am Groot" still, but below it they put subtitles.
That would have been
That
cool.
would have worked a lot better because then you're like, oh shit, we get to now understand what he says at the very end of the movie. I feel like that would have had a little bit better of an impact than having him actually say it out loud. But they should have portrayed that like he still said I am Groot, but that we now understand what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe that could have been a little bit better, but I don't know how they could have done that other than the subtitles,
I
which
think
is
some
the
of the
best.
things worked
Um,
perfectly. Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
great. I love that idea.
So
So,
yeah.
but man, there's so much. Cosmo in this movie is fucking awesome.
Yes, yeah,
Cosmo is
yeah.
great. She
I'm
has
really
this.
happy they brought Cosmo into this because especially from the video game, I really love Cosmo. And so I'm really happy they brought that dog. I had to explain to my brother and that they had no idea why this dog was in there. I'm like, well, if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, he's in the collector's thing. He actually is one of the things that escape.
Well, he's in volume
So
2, isn't he?
nope,
Oh,
he's not.
shoot.
Cosmo shows up for the first time in the holiday special of Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the first time you get to
Oh,
see Cosmo.
I
But
haven't seen it,
Cosmo
so
technically is in Volume 1, but you don't get to see anything from Cosmo.
yeah.
It's just Cosmo running outside, which I don't even think that's oh no, it is the same dog. That's a dog that runs out during the Volume 1 at the collector's place. So yeah, that was cool. I'm really happy they brought Cosmo into this because again, I played the game, so I kind of have a little bit of background now with Cosmo, and I really love that they brought that dog in there. And I especially love the whole joke with the good boy thing. I fucking love
Good
that.
girl.
You're a bad dog. Sorry,
Bad
bad
dog,
dog.
yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, he's like,
I,
that's
I
not
am.
true. I'm not a bad dog.
Well, it's actually a girl in this one, which is actually another funny thing that James Gunn talked about because he was a guy. Oh, he was voiced as a guy in
Yeah, yeah.
the holiday special, which I haven't seen, so that's my fault.
But he
But
is.
yeah, there were people asking him why James Gunn changed what is now her voice, and he said
Yeah.
because it's better representative of the dog that actually went to space, like the real dog who went to space, who was a female. So that was like his way of showing respect to that
Huh.
dog that they shot off into a rocket in I think the 60s or 70s, something like that. So there's so many cool little storylines about this, but yeah, the whole I am not a bad dog thing, it was
Yeah.
so good, and there's all the other characters like just tell her she's a good dog. Like, just
Yeah.
he's like, no, I won't do it. It's
I won't. I won't.
ev-
Yeah.
like I cannot come up with an if de facto bad thing about this movie. Again, I
Yeah,
would have.
there
I,
isn't. Like, I don't feel like the pacing is off. I feel like everything is very naturally done, and there's so much that happens within this story. And I feel like, again, it's a very good sequel because they then just cut out what happened at the end of the second movie. they brought the enemy that was supposed to show up in this movie, and I think he's hilarious. I love Adam Warlock. I think he's just a funny character where he's like, he obviously is not a smart person. He has adolescence like in his mind, but yet he's really strong. He's kind of like Homelander in a sense from The Boys, where he just like he acts like a child.
Well, the
But yet
reason's
he
like that
has all this
because
power.
he technically, in terms of age of living, he is a child still because he was born like
Yeah,
that. Like, so he wasn't born like, let's say traditional
yeah, and they took him
human
out
things were
early,
born. Yeah.
and that's what happened. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean we can go through every single character ending. It's all good. Peter Quill gets to go back home, and I thought it was amazing how his grandfather recognized him immediately. We didn't have that whole thing, where he has to say like, "Hey, it's
Who are
Peter."
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like is that's very realistic to like how humans conceive things. Like just because he hasn't seen him since he was I think 10 or something like that. I don't remember how old he was in the first movie. He knows who he is and he recognizes him, and you get that huge moment, and that's again emotional. It's impactful. It's all the things.
And I
Drax.
love.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say real quick on that point. I love that they brought that up again by like a lot, because again, ever since the first movie, it's always been a question of why did he never go back to Earth to even see his family. Like he's been gone for a long time, and then he just never went back to Earth. Like he's had a ship, he could always go back to Earth at any moment. So I love that in this movie they finally answered it. I think that's a great answer. And a quick other point is they answer the Infinity War question with Gamora, and the fact and end game, more the end game question of why Gamora still exists. And the answer to that was pretty funny, because I love he's like I don't know, I guess because she fell off this magic fucking mountain, she gets to stay. I don't know. I'm not a scientist or anything. I'm like, okay, I love that. That was
Yeah.
funny. I'm happy they answered that, because I'm like, it's been a question in my mind since Endgame, like why she was the only one that didn't get snapped out of existence. So yeah.
Yeah. What did he say? I'm not an Infinity Stone scientist or something
Yeah,
like
I'm not a
that. Yeah.
Finny Stone scientist, so like I fucking love that. But go on to your next point.
I
Sorry,
was
I
just
just wanted
say
to cut in
no.
real quick and say that's
I
a
was just
good
kind of
point.
I was just gonna jump through the characters and like talk about their endings and how I mean I'm gonna be kind of like a sounding board here, but I loved all of them. I don't have a problem with any of the way that the characters end. Yeah.
Hmm.
Peter Quill getting to go back home. I thought it was really interesting that they said Star-Lord will return, not the Guardians will return. I
Yeah, the
thought that
legend. Yeah.
yeah, the legendary Star-Lord will return, and I thought that was like, oh, okay, because usually it says the Guardians will return. That's what it usually
Hmm.
says at the end of the movie. So that was interesting. I thought the end credit scene, not the mid credit scene. The end one is hilarious. Them just sitting there eating cereal like regular humans, talking about how some gardener's a dick. It's just basic human stuff. Drax's ending I thought was actually brilliant.
Hmm.
Him coming to terms with he's not Drax the Destroyer, he's Drax the Father, which could be considered a cheesy line, but I thought the movie played it off so well, and you got this whole like slow reveal of who Drax actually is and what he cares about and how he's able to connect with these kids and how he is able to be this father figure that no one else on the team seems to be. He's kind of like the best of them all in that regard, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Gamora finally getting a sense of place and all that, at least this version of Gamora.
Hmm.
I still think I don't know if I was hoping for like a full reconciliation. I guess in my kind of like stupid romanticized brain of mine, I was kind of hoping like this full reconciliation between her and Quill. I think it's good that the movie didn't do that. I think that would have been a little. I think that would have taken away from her individualism as a character in this new one. But she gets a family, and she's the Peter Quill now. She goes with the
Hmm.
Ravagers. She has assumed that same position that Quill started in the first movie. Mantis is in, them recognizing, she's not a weak link of the team. She has this huge command over everything, and her getting to
Hmm.
exercise that power. And I love the little creatures that are so intimidating, but they're actually just little puppies, pretty much. And she can
Yeah.
just control them. Um, shit. What's Nebula's ending? I forgot.
Also, those creatures remind me a lot of Episode 7 of Star Wars. Those creatures that attack the ship on Han
Oh,
Solo's thing.
absolutely. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
remind me so much of them, and I'm like, are those the same creatures? Like, because they look the exact same in many ways. I don't know. I'll have to like get a comparison up, but they looked pretty much the same to me. So,
What's Nebula's ending? I don't remember.
she basically takes over.
Oh, she
What the
just
fuck is it
decides
called?
she just decides to run nowhere.
Yeah,
You pretty much
yeah.
like their home base. So like
And she basically her ending is instead of like because people always ask for her help. You could tell that throughout the entire movie, and so she's like, you know what, fuck it, I'll actually help.
yeah,
I'll actually be a person that wants to help people.
her and Drax are now essentially the leaders of nowhere, so they have a home
Hmm.
now. It's like I think the thing that the movie drives home a little bit is everybody gets a home. Everybody
Hmm.
finds their place that they're supposed to be. And Rocket becoming the leader of the Guardians after everything he's
Yeah.
been through. And
After literally all the time he kept saying, "I'm the leader of the Guardians" throughout everything, which is funny. I love that because,
and
like, especially Infinity War, where literally Thor gets on the ship, he's like, "Yeah, I'm the captain of the ship," and everything. Like, he's like, "Yes, you are," and everything. Like, I love that. Again, I love that. That's a good ending to where he actually is now the
yeah.
captain. He
And
is the leader.
possibly my favorite scene in the movie, I literally just thought about it as you were talking, I got chills, is towards the end of the movie where they're going to leave the ship, and then the High Evolutionary, I think he says something on the radio or something like that, and Rocket just turns around and he says, "No, I'm done with this shit." And everyone just follows him. Everyone turns
Hmm.
around. Quill looks at him like, "Okay, this is what we're doing. Let's do it." Everyone just turns around
Hmm.
and follows the now leader of the Guardians. And that's one of my favorite scenes is when everyone just slowly turns around and then it's quickly followed up by one of the coolest fight scenes in the MCU, the hallway
Oh
battle
my
scene.
god,
The
dude, that
hallway
hallway
battle
battle
scene.
scene was amazing.
Dude, the
I think
music,
they,
everything.
uh-huh. Dude, honestly, all the action in this movie was absolutely phenomenal. I think they did a really good job. Again, that hallway fight scene reminded me of like John Wick in a way, where it just felt so badass. And then that ending scene where you just see all the bodies and they're all just standing up, like it was so damn cool. And especially, I love the ending with the boss fight at the end, where basically Rocket finally gets back. And I especially here's actually something I really want to throw back, and I love throughout the entire movie, they hint at all these different things like the gravitational boots, you know, all that stuff. And I love at the very end when he's like throwing them around and everything, he's like, "No, fuck you, I'm Rocket." And he puts on the gravitational boots and it hits the ground. And throughout the entire movie, they tease that. And it's basically Rocket learning about like kind of like learning from his like mistakes in the past. And that was awesome. I really love that, and I love that like he just turns around and blasts him, and I love everyone else jumping in at that scene too and
Yeah.
doing badass stuff and like just also man that scene was gruesome when they ripped off this skin mask.
Oh
Oh
my
my god!
god.
Oh my god! I didn't expect them to
Yeah,
do that.
this movie had to have been teetering on rated R, dude. There's some
Dude,
stuff in there.
especially I think the another scene that really kind of threw me off that I didn't expect to actually happen is when they jump out the building with the scientist. He's like, "No, I'm not gonna be the one that hits the ground. You are." And then he literally does hit the ground. I didn't expect that. I thought something was like gonna catch them or something. No, they just go full force into the ground with the scientist, and I'm like, "Damn, Jesus."
Yeah. Let's
This movie does not care at all. They're just like they are going full on with some of this stuff, and I love it. It was great.
let's talk for a sec about the emotional core of the movie. The emotional core of the movie is Rocket and his entire backstory and history. And man, is it an emotional roller coaster.
Hmm.
They put you through some shit in this movie, and you learn about how Rocket became Rocket. All the
Hmm.
mechanical advances. You meet his friends. Let me see if I can remember them all. Teeth, Floor, and Lila. Yes, those were
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
them. Yeah, and dude, I every time it flashed back to that, I'm like, fuck, here we go again. Teoduck's opened. I can't deal with this
yeah,
shit right now, dude. And it's tragic what happens to him. Spoiler, well, not spoiler, win spoilers. They all die because of something that Rocket does. And
yeah.
I talked about this when I was on Call of Duty with you guys. I think it's really cool that one of the MCU's longest gags is Rocket needing these mechanical parts from different people. And I think it's pretty easy to make the connection of why he does that now because he's trying to honor the friends that he lost. There's some people out there that says he's trying to rebuild them. I don't buy that at all. I think it's a
Yeah,
dumb.
no.
I think it's a dumb stretch of the imagination, but I think it's just a cool little character thing that was always the funny little gag. Like, oh, I want his eye, I want his arm, I want his leg, and
Yeah.
in his friends, in his 3 friends that he eventually causes their death, you see all those mechanical parts, and I was like, fuck, man, shit is hitting hard. And then, you know, the whole thing throughout the movie that keeps going back, like, or I guess the whole series, I'm not a raccoon, I'm not a raccoon, I'm not a raccoon, I'm not a fucking raccoon. And then he opens the cages to a bunch of baby raccoons and he sees it right there, Rocket. And then when he faces down the high evolutionary, he goes, I'm Rocket the raccoon, and just fucking blast him, dude. And it's that whole sequence. I did read some people that say the flashbacks are the problem with the pacing. Every time it cuts back, you kind of derail yourself from the main story. And I was like, no, the main story is Rocket.
Yeah, like
That's his story.
The first thing you see in this movie is Rocket. You clearly can tell that's what the whole movie was. The plot basically was gonna go around was Rocket's backstory. So how does that throw you off the story? That's literally the motivation. That's the thing that pushes you forward. This makes no sense.
I don't think some people understand how to write stuff.
Especially like because like that like basically what we're seeing is what. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't get any food. Hey, what the heck? Hey, I want food.
It's food.
Oh, okay.
It's oh, wait, which one do I want? I don't know what I want now. Yeah, Amy, you want to hear some baloney right here? Absolute, sir, not baloney. Bullshit is more like it. Guess what freaking Guardians of the Galaxy has on Metacritic? Okay, that's a little low. Damn. You think it's a 47?
Oh my god.
Jesus, that's awful. Like, that's the worst of the worst. No, it's a 60. 64, 65? Yeah, but that's horrible, though. That's annoying. That's some baloney. Okay, hey, by the way, everybody, C4, Starburst.
Yeah, I'm done with my juicy peach. Well, almost done.
I know. I was just picking that one.
All right.
So yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think people are just wrong about that in every way because like it's a fact that literally at the beginning of the movie, it's kind of shoved in your face what the movie was going to be about, and that was Rocket. In this sense, Rocket was kind of the main character of this entire movie. And what I guess that is more of a fact because he kind of was. Not kind of, he is the main character of the story. Like it happens. I mean, it just makes sense. Like that he's the first person they focus on. He's the one that walks you through introducing all the Guardians again. And it's just like, what do you mean that it throws you off the story or it's ruining the pacing? It's them showing his backstory. So I think that's just wrong.
I loved every single second of the flashbacks. You know, every time we went back there, I was like, oh damn it, I had to like get myself ready. And then you know the whole heaven scene, that's what I'm gonna call it. You know, Harry Potter's done this, Star Wars does it. The whole like character ascending scene, and he asked him, you know, can I join you? And them like, yeah, which shows that, you know, they don't really have any resentment towards him because all he was trying to do was free them. Yes, it backfired. He ended up getting them killed, but he was trying to free them. So that whole sequence of him up in, you know, the heaven, you know, scene shows that there's no hard feelings between them. They want him back, but like Lila says in the movie, it's not your time yet. And of course, that's that huge like gut punch heroic Raha moment where you realize Rocket's not going to be the one to die, and the movie pulls him right back in, and it's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, also that scene where it was his vitals went like to like he flatlined. Dude, that scene was so, dude, that brought me to tears.
Dude,
that was killing me because he was like it was so natural, and he did such a good job in that scene because I'm like, damn, like that hits hard. Like it was so good because like he was losing a friend, and he doesn't this whole movie, especially the whole plot line with Star-Lord, is he doesn't want to lose anyone else.
Yeah.
And he will be willing to die himself to save any of his friends or anyone in his family.
Dude, his yell, I still hear it, dude. His yell hit. It hit like a Mack truck.
good. It's so good.
And then, like what you said when we were first talking about this, you know, that moment where Nebula hears Rocket say, and it's not really played up that well. Rocket just starts talking, and Nebula, like, dude, her reaction, and Karen Gillan, all the
Like you
props.
could tell, like she got a lot of like
Yeah,
condiment. Like she like she couldn't say
it
anything.
choked
She
her
was
up.
like
Yeah,
Rocket, like, and then like like tears actually were coming down. I'm like, damn. I was like, Nebula's never been known as an emotional character. I clearly every time you see her, she's like ruthless. But for her to actually cry like that was really insane. And I just love how everyone kind of reacted. Like I just love it. Like it's because it just really showed how much they actually like. As much as they will joke around or they will throw off like kind of like try to change the mood. As soon as like they actually do show that they all care about Rocket. Like
yeah.
I love that.
I mean, I think the movie again is just. Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. But I think the movie
Yeah.
is absolutely just phenomenal. Like, I think this is one of the best movies in the MCU, and I don't really understand or even agree with any other criticisms out there, other than a few minor things. I think this movie is fucking brilliant. And honestly, everyone who thinks differently, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I think you're wrong. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, 5 out of 5 glowing reviews. Please go out there, see it. Enjoy the last 5 out of 5 we'll probably get in the MCU for a while. Maybe something surprises me. I don't know, but it's probably ain't gonna be the Marvels coming up.
Yeah, God, dude, I seen that trailer and I'm like, I saw that trailer and I was like, this looks awful. Like
Yeah,
in
doesn't
every
look
way
good.
possible. Like it doesn't look good. I don't care about any of these characters, and it's like they're definitely trying to make us care about them, and I'm like, I don't care about any of these people. They're annoying. They're not funny. I still think it's dumb what they did to Miss Marvel. I think her freaking powers still are so dumb that they didn't just. I don't know why they changed her powers. Still to this day, I don't understand why. I found her other powers to be far more interesting than what she has now. I haven't even watched the show. I still don't care to watch it.
I still think it's
But
good.
I mean,
I think
you
it's
still need to watch Loki, but who
yeah, I
knows when
do.
that's gonna ever happen.
Man, I got Star Wars. I gotta dig through. I got
You do need to at
MCU. I
least
gotta
watch
dig.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I
You
know.
have to
Well, I
watch
gotta watch
Mandalorian.
Boba Fett first. Oh, sorry, Mandalorian 2.5 first.
Yeah, you do need to at least watch that because actually that does kind of come back in the season 3, so you kind of do have to watch that.
All right. Well,
At least
guys.
the 3 episodes of Mandalorian you have to watch.
Well,
So
guys, that was spoiler cast, spoiler talk on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm sure we missed a bunch. We always do. We don't really take too many notes here and there. Every once in a while, we take notes and write stuff down.
I mean, heck, we missed the merchant from Resident Evil 4.
I'm actually
So
mad that
it
we did that.
happens.
I'm actually
I
really
can't
mad that
believe
we
we
did that.
forgot about a key component of Resident Evil 4. I still think that's so funny that we forgot.
It honestly
we skipped
pisses me
over
off. So, anyway, let us know down below what you guys think. If you don't like it, I'm not gonna not talk to you. I'll engage with you. We'll have a discussion. I think your opinion is
I'll
wrong
be
on this
curious
matter.
to hear your points.
Yeah,
Is
like
more
why
like,
don't you like it? What is it? Because I've seen the movie twice now. I guess I should have said that, but I did go back and see it again. And
really?
yeah, I just can't come up with a reason that why this movie isn't absolutely fantastic. I anything less than a 4, I can't see personally. So let us know down below if you didn't like it. We'll talk with you. We'll have a discussion. I like doing that. So, and also let us know what you guys thought in general about it. Do you love it so much? What do you want from the rest of the MCU? Just talk about stuff down below, please. We want to engage with you guys. But we're going to go on now to around the point where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you the news that you need to know about. Number 1 on Around the Point, PlayStation and Sony have finally, after what felt like a fucking eon, unveiled the timing for the PlayStation Showcase. Reading from the PlayStation blog, it said it's almost time to see what's next. PlayStation Showcase broadcasts live next Wednesday, May 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Central Time, or 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The show will run a bit over an hour, focusing on PS5 and PSVR 2 games in development from top studios from around the world. Expect a glimpse at several new creations from PlayStation Studios, as well as spellbinding games from our third-party partners and indie creators. So guys, it's finally happened. We've been talking about it for it feels like all year. There's been so many rumors, people coming out saying it's going to happen at this month, this time. No more rumors. It's here. It's time. Let's talk about it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to predict kinda, but also just kind of talk about, what I have here on the document, the yes, no's, and maybe so. So we're going to talk about the games that we think are absolutely going to be here. We're going to talk about the games that we do not think are going to be here. And then we're going to talk about kind of like our hopes and dreams or maybe so's. So I kind of approach this from like a PlayStation Studios. I looked through what studios are working on what, or what I think they are working on, the ones who aren't going to be here, and then some of the like third-party games, some of the other exclusive third-party stuff that we've seen that I don't think are going to be here. So I want to start with the no's to get that out of the way, all right? So I want to start about the things that we're not going to see. So I don't really know if you want to go back and forth or anything like that. Sure, let's do that. I just came up with it, all right? Okay. So I think the first thing is a game that we've already seen that I don't think is going to be here because it'll be at Summer Game Fest because Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima love each other. So I think Death Stranding 2 is not going to be here, mostly because I just think it'll be at Summer Games Fest. We saw the trailer at the Game Awards. We know it's real. It's coming. I'm excited. Logan couldn't give two fucks about it, but I'm excited. I think Death Stranding is awesome. It's different, but it's awesome. And so I do not think we see that here at all. Maybe a mention of it. Maybe they say, hey, we'll see you at Summer Game Fest, but probably not. So I think that's one of the games that we know is coming that won't be at this show. What's your first one?
Wolverine. I don't think Wolverine's going to be here. That's like pretty
I have that too. Now. So I say,
there's just no way because we already have Spider-Man 2 coming out right now. And I really don't think they would be showing Wolverine as well. Like, I don't think Wolverine's going to come out for a little while. I think, it the Spider-Man side of the team that's going to be working on Wolverine? I would assume.
Who the hell? I mean, Insomniac's like 240 people.
So. It seems like they have like two teams. They have one team that does like Ratchet and Clank, and then they have one team that does Spider-Man. And so, or Marvel, I guess is what I'm going to call it now, that team.
Yeah.
So I would think Spider-Man team would be the one that would work on Wolverine. It would make sense, in my opinion.
Maybe not.
But yeah, I absolutely don't think it's going to be here, though. So I hope people don't assume it's going to be here because I honestly think it would take away from the whole Spider-Man thing. So honestly, I really doubt it will. I'm actually 100%. I don't think it's going to be here.
Yeah,
so,
that was one of my notes too. I don't think we get any updates on Wolverine because Sony probably wants to focus all the attention on Spider-Man. We do have technically a date for Wolverine. It's supposed to come out next year. They dated it for 2024 when they first announced it. So
I can see it. I mean, they're so efficient with their freaking. I don't know how they do it. Honestly, Insomniac, dude, is damn good at what they do. I don't know how they do it, but they're the most efficient video game developers I've ever seen.
You want to talk about a steal? Sony paid $400 million for them.
Yeah, easily the most efficient video game developers of all time.
All right,
well, maybe not all time, but I think as of recently, modern, yes, most efficient.
Dude, they just put out. And it's not that they put out a lot of games. Name a bad game from them.
I don't care for Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
I know a lot of people
well, first
like
of all,
it.
You're
I'm
wrong.
not a huge fan of it.
I love Sunset Overdrive.
Well, I would like to get it on PC and actually play it at like 60, so maybe I will get it at some point and actually give it another try. I barely gave it a try, to be honest. So I just didn't really fall in love with it as much as I thought I would because I remember how hyped I was for it, and then I didn't even get it day one. I got it like down the line. I wasn't thrilled about it. I don't know. Maybe if I played it in 60, it'd probably feel a lot better and a lot more smooth because the gameplay seems very chaotic and I kind of want to play it at 60. So maybe I'll get it on PC down the line.
Here's a question. This has been a rumor for a while. Insomniac kept that IP, so technically Sony owns Sucker Punch. Do we get a remake of Sucker Punch? I don't think it's going to be here. That's the fact. I guarantee you it's not going to. What did I say? Oh shit!
Sucker Punch is a studio.
Sunset Overdrive.
If they want to make a game called Sucker Punch, then they're more than glad to make it. Yeah,
Sunset Overdrive. Sorry. Do we ever get a remake?
I don't think a remake.
Sorry,
they could
a remake of Sunset Overdrive,
remaster or something like that. Yeah, they could.
I think that'd be awesome.
That would take away from their development of like what already they're making. I don't know. I mean, they could do like, I don't know, like Yeah, I don't know what they could do. Honestly, they could just really just crank up the resolution, increase the frame rate, and
Yeah,
just
I mean,
release it on PlayStation
I'm not. I guess
with all the
no.
DLC.
Yeah, a remake probably isn't the best thing, but like a re-release of it,
Yeah, I
like
think the game still looks beautiful to this day. It still has that same Spider-Man-esque graphics. I mean, it pretty much is what helped make what Spider-Man is now.
well, yeah, it was them
So
testing out
it's
the open world stuff.
and
It
that's
was
why
a,
I kind of do want to go back and play it, but I don't know. I want to play it at 60 to be honest, because I kind of think I'd prefer that. But
I think,
yeah,
like I said,
so
I love Sunset Overdrive. I think it's honestly one of Xbox One's best exclusives. Is it, to the quality of? I said in my opinion. Don't fucking shake your head.
I think Gears of War 5 is probably the best one they ever came out with.
I said one of.
I'm fucking with you. I know, I know, I know, I
God, drive me
know.
up a goddamn wall. Anyway, do I think it's of Spider-Man's quality? No, God, no.
No.
No. There's
Well,
clearly a
Spider-Man
step
is
up.
also Spider-Man,
Yeah.
so there's not really anything gonna be able to compete with that, to be
So,
honest, other than probably Zelda. So
so another game that we know is coming eventually that I don't think is going to be here is the KOTOR remake. That was at the last PlayStation Showcase. That's where they announced it. There's been so many problems with it. I still have hope that it's going to be good based on the new developer who's on it. Saber Interactive got put on it last year, which probably means, if rumors are to be believed, Aspire just completely didn't know what the hell they were doing. They fucked everything up. So it's probably going to be that, Saber took over and just restarted development on it. So I don't think we get an
I mean, they
update
probably
here.
weren't even that far along. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. I don't think we get an update here. I don't really think we see anything of it, but that's technically still coming. And as far as studios that I don't think are going to show up, I don't think they're ready yet. Ben Studios, they're working on a new IP, a new open world action adventure game. I don't think they're ready to go yet. We had all the news come out that they want to do Days Gone. Sony said no, they didn't want Days Gone 2. And then both the studio heads from Ben Studios left, apparently under not great circumstances because they were mad at Sony. And then Ben Studios went to work on something brand new. So I just don't think it's time yet. I mean, that happened a year and a half ago at this point. I don't think it's time for them to come out, and especially with new modern Sony, they don't like to show things that are not essentially on the way. So I don't think Ben Studios shows up. Housemarque, I don't think enough time has elapsed. They just recently last year put out the DLC for Returnal. There we go.
Returnal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're ready to go yet. And then finally, Media Molecules years away from showing anything from us. We just got word that Dreams is shutting down. Everybody fucking left Media Molecules, so we're years away from seeing anything from them. So, what do you think about all that?
Well, I mean, I don't think you're wrong on any of those. What was the other thing? Yeah, I definitely don't think KOTOR is gonna be showed for like another year or two. I hope it does well. I think Saber Interactive is very good developers. I think another developer team that would be really good for a KOTOR remake would be the developers of Divinity Original Sin and the new coming Baldur's Gate 3. They're also I think KOTOR is up that line of that kind of RPG that they're making with like a lot of rolling the dice kind of attacks and everything. I think they'd be really good too for that. But I think Saber Interactive is a really good one. I mean, I liked because they're the same people that made World War Z, and I thought World War Z was actually a really fun game. Honestly, it's honestly pretty amazing what they did with World War Z. So I have faith in them making something pretty good. It's definitely way out of their what they've made before because it's an RPG, but who knows? It could be really cool. I'm curious.
I mean, yeah,
So,
they're kind of like a port/remake studio. I mean, I'm looking through the list of what they've done here. You said World War Z. Then they did The Witcher 3 Complete Edition for Nintendo Switch, so they got that to run on there
oh
somehow.
yeah,
They did
yeah.
Vampire for Switch. Then they did Halo Combat Evolved, the Anniversary Edition, so 1, 2, and 3. They worked on all the Crisis remasters, 1, 2, and 3 of
Really?
that.
Oh,
Yeah. What was these popped up like 8 times? I don't know. Evil Dead the game was the newest original game, which wasn't amazing, but I know people liked it.
hmm
Um, God damn, they work on so much stuff. Holy hell. And then
yeah.
the upcoming Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, they are the primary developer on that as well. So,
They were
um,
one of the developers too for Dead Island 2. but they were the ones that got pushed
Yeah.
over to a new
And
developer.
then
Yeah.
also
So
they're also the ones that made Kingdom Come Deliverance run on the Switch as well. Wait, that says to be
holy shit!
announced.
Wait, that,
Hold
I
on,
was
that
gonna say
says
that never released.
sorry, that says TBA, so huh.
I don't think it's ever gonna release.
No, probably not. But they
The
seem
game's
like
come out like forever ago.
they seem like they're a capable port / remake studio with a couple of their own little things in there. So yeah, I have faith in it. Wait, Time Shift is that? Bro, they made Time Shift. Do you remember that? The old first-person shooter. They made
Yeah,
that.
like way back at the beginning of the
Oh 07, yeah,
360 and that. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I have faith in it. I think they can pull it off. Again, this is, in my opinion, actually one of the most important remakes we've gotten because KOTOR is so important to the industry as a whole. I think Sony knows. I think um, who's the other people that work on it? Embracer, they're the main subsidiaries. They're the main shareholders of all these things. I think or at least they should know that this needs to not suck. Like this can't be bad. So, all right. Anything else you got for us? I got one more thing in the
Yeah.
nose that I don't think we're gonna see
I
here.
got
So,
one more, and that is I don't think it's gonna be this, but I'm just gonna say this: new Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think there's obviously gonna be that there. I don't think Sucker Punch is gonna be showing up for this one. I don't think so. I think they got some time. They're gonna need some time for their next game. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was a gigantic game, and I'm very excited for whatever they make in the future because I think Ghost of Tsushima is, in my opinion, the best thing they ever made, and I really love that game a lot. I'm curious what they're gonna make in the future. A lot of people keep thinking it's gonna be a sequel. Kind of hope not. I don't really think it needs a sequel, but I
I
mean,
mean,
hey, it's PlayStation. They made a lot of money, so
yeah,
probably it is going to get a sequel. I really wish it didn't because I'd rather them just make something new or maybe make something akin to what this was. Like, you can keep all the systems that you've had before, but maybe make it about a different, I don't know, maybe like about Chinese or something else. Like, if they could do something different. I don't know. I just don't really know how they're going to make this a sequel because the way it ended was a good ending and it was like the perfect way to end the game.
well,
So,
I talk about Ghost of Tsushima in the maybe so / possible, so we'll get to that eventually.
yeah.
My last no is obviously there's all kinds of rumors out there about new hardware and the removable disk drive, PS5 Pro.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. It's
Sony,
easy peasy.
yeah.
That ain't happening.
Well, I mean, it's happened before, but Sony usually announces that just like on a whim, like on a random Wednesday on the PlayStation blog. They're like, "Hey, here's this new thing," you know. And obviously, there's all kinds of rumors about the new earbuds, headphones, the Q Lite, the cloud streaming
Oh,
device.
yeah. This stupid cloud device.
There's
Oh,
all kinds of
please.
like stuff. Sony usually, I mean, I can't remember the last time on a showcase or E3 stage that Sony announced new hardware. I think the PS4 Pro was the last one that they announced. So, and also they usually announce that way closer to the time that it comes out. So,
Mhm.
if there is supposed to be the removable disk drive, the new updated hardware this fall, like all the rumors suggest, we'll probably hear about that, August, September, much closer to the time that it comes out. Excuse me.
That actually could be something they could announce pretty soon. That would make more sense than a pro. I still think it's dumb that people think a pro is gonna be coming soon. That ain't happening, guys. Pro is not coming for probably another 2 years, I would
Maybe.
say.
Honestly, I
Because
think
I mean,
2024 the latest.
we just finally got to the point where people have more availability to actually pick up a PS5 this year. It took till this year, so I think it would piss off a lot of people if they're like, "Yeah, Pro is coming out next year." Like that would piss a lot of people off, but it would also cut their sales down by a lot because then now people are like, "Well, we'll just wait for the Pro to come out."
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I
would
think
hope
that's
that they
why
would wait at least another year or two
I think
because they need to wait.
that's why they don't really announce that kind of stuff before like, a month or so before it actually comes out. So,
Yeah.
if there is something new this fall, we'll hear about that very close to when the thing is supposed to release so they don't cut into the sales. All right, you said that was it for your nose?
Yep.
All right, so for our nose, Death Stranding 2, not going to be here, I don't think. Bend, Housemarque, Media Molecule, not going to show up. Wolverine, no. I don't think any new hardware. And then I don't think KOTOR is going to be here at all. All right, so
And then I said no new Ghost of Tsushima, but we'll see. Yours is
no,
gonna be maybe.
no,
So
no new Gustavs. It's been a while. It's been almost 3 years now, so I'm saying,
it has.
yeah,
But when let's see. Wait, they made Infamous, New Light or Last Light?
First Light.
First Light. That was at the beginning of PS4. It took them all the way till the very end. But I
Well,
guess
no,
they do have
Infamous.
those systems made. They have an engine now.
Yeah.
And they probably could put out a game a lot quicker. So you might be right on the maybe.
I mean, next year would be 4 years. That's the timeline or time frame for God of War. So
yeah.
I mean, they were able to make that game in 3.5, 4 years. So, all right, yeses / definitely. I think there's two things that both Logan and I are convinced are going to be here. I'll just say them both, and then you can talk about what you think. Spider-Man 2 and Last of Us Factions are going to be here. Spider-Man definitely.
I put a small bit of Spider-Man. I think they're going to show a sequence, and there's gonna be like a slight trailer and everything, and maybe they'll like do a couple cuts of showing the new graphics, which by the way I'm very fucking excited to see
I'm
what
sure
they're
it's gonna
do
look good
with this game.
because
Dude, I'm now having full force just PS5 now, because Miles Morales wasn't even a good showcase because it's technically still a last gen game. They just kind of cranked it up a bit, and I still think that game looked amazing. So to actually get a Spider-Man now that is full force just PS5, I can't wait.
And there was an interview with Jim Ryan where he talked about the development of Spider-Man 2, and he said Insomniac was no hold bars. They let them do whatever they wanted, whatever they asked for. Sony was there for it. So any sort of technology.
The more recent thing we actually got to see that was kind of a good idea of what we're going to be getting is the new Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That game was full force just PS5, and it looked insane.
Now they've had
is still mind blowing to this day,
and now they've had 2 years extra to work with the PlayStation 5 to really be able to tap into it. So yeah, I think everybody knows that's the easiest. That's not even really a prediction. That's going to be here.
There's going to be. I don't think people should expect a long gameplay thing. I think that's going to be a thing they're going to show closer to Spider-Man 2's release. I do think we're gonna. I do think we're gonna get an actual release date at this thing, and we're also gonna get like a small bit of gameplay. They're gonna show some kind of gameplay, which I know Insomniac's really good with that. So I'm sure we're gonna see something from it. It's gonna be a small sequence and maybe some cuts of like the city and stuff, so we get to see some of the graphics and all that. I can't wait. And I also full-heartedly believe Last of Us Factions is going to be here. I really think it's going to be here. It's been a while. Technically it's only been like 2 or so years, but they've had an engine. They have an idea what they're making. It's a multiplayer game. I think, again, full-heartedly, I believe The Last of Us Factions is coming out this summer. It's the perfect time. There's nothing else coming out when it comes to PlayStation exclusives. We're waiting all the way until the end of this year for Spider-Man 2. So freaking Last of Us Factions is definitely coming out.
Final Fantasy 16.
You're right.
Yeah.
I still think Last of Us Factions would be a good release for this summer because it would be a good multiplayer game, and it's gonna finally get that foot in again for PlayStation exclusive multiplayer game. And everyone's been waiting for Factions for a damn long time. They've had to have been working on this since literally Last of Us 2 came out. So I think it's going to come out this summer. And it better be here because, heck, we've gotten no details on it, no nothing. I think it's coming out. And I'm excited to see what's it all about. Like, what is Last of Us Factions? Like, what they're doing? But I'm going to throw my last thing in real quick.
I have something to say about Last of Us Factions.
Go on.
Yeah. I think we see it. It's fully unveiled. We get a good idea of what it is. I expect them to maybe spend 5 minutes, detailing what it is. I said last week, and I'm going to stick to my guns. I do not think this game comes out this year. I know that's going to hurt you. I see this.
I think it is.
I see this as a very early 2024 game. Just based on the fact that we haven't heard anything, we haven't said anything. The last time they said anything about it, they said we'll tell you more next summer, which it's now next summer. So now we're hearing more. If they do put a release date on it, it's not going to come out around Spider-Man's time, which the rumor for that is September. I think honestly, the earliest we see it, maybe June. Sorry, not June. Maybe late July, early August. But then I still think that's too close to both Final Fantasy and Spider-Man. The best time for it to come out would have been earlier this year, and it did.
It'd be that in between though, so that it'd keep people like in in the new game kind of thing. And again, I also already know this is gonna be a fact, but I think this is gonna be a day and date PC release because I'm gonna guess this is gonna be a free to play multiplayer thing. and which would be smart, and that way, we'd have it on PlayStation and PC. So again, I think it would be perfect to come out this summer. I mean,
I think that one.
people have been waiting for a long time for Last of Us multiplayer to come out ever since Last of Us Part 2 came out, and I think it's time for it to be released. They've had the engine, they've had the assets. All they had to do was just make a multiplayer mode, and I do think it's going to be coming out this summer.
I
do
think
so.
that one you're crazy on. I do not think at all this launches day and date with PC. I think there's zero chance of that happening.
Really? Because they even said in the past, they said any kind of multiplayer free-to-play game was going to be a day and date PC release. Because
I guess
it wouldn't make
fair.
any sense. Because why would the fuck would they come out with a free-to-play game on PlayStation? But yeah, in a year it'll come out to PC. Then who the fuck would care on PC at that point?
Nobody.
Like, who would want to play it?
But it's
so
Sony.
It would make sense if it'd be day and date. But they've already said in the past, though, any multiplayer, like free-to-play especially, would be day and date.
Fair enough.
So who knows? We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to assume I'm right because that's what they've said in the past. So, but they've also lied in the past with certain other games, so who knows?
Everybody lies.
Especially like the Horizon thing.
Well, I think that was less of a lie and more of like, let's hope people don't realize that they did.
Yeah, and then everyone did realize because trust me, it's the internet. They will always remember.
No one forgets.
So,
all right, let me get one thing in here real quick before we go to yours. I think this is unfortunate, but I do think Final Fantasy 16 will be here again. We're gonna get more of it. Not because it's not unfortunate that
kind of in line with what I was saying. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry.
in line with my next thing. So
I think it's unfortunate because I don't want to see more of it. They've been showing this game off a lot. Everyone knows pretty much most of the things that we need to see about this thing. They just had a whole state of play. I think we get another short trailer, which is going to be like a kind of an eye-rolly thing. Not because I'm not excited about it. It's probably one of my most hyped games, if not my single most hyped game for the rest of the year. I can't fucking wait for it, but I don't need to see anything more of it. I don't want to see anything more of it, but it's probably going to be here because sometimes Sony's like shoving shit down your throat so you know what's coming. They did this with Deathloop, and we saw Deathloop 37 times before it came out. So, you said it was in lines. What you got?
So, it's kind of hard to explain why I put this on here. So I put Final Fantasy. I already knew there was going to be somewhat of something Final Fantasy, but I also feel like there's going to be a semi-exclusive thing they're going to show. I know it technically is only coming out on PlayStation, but I feel like they're going to have some weird exclusive thing with PlayStation put in here. Like, they're going to be like, as a PlayStation bonus, you get this. And they're going to showcase, like, I don't know, like a Spider-Man armor set for Final Fantasy. I know it's like a dumb thing, but I'm just saying, like, that I know it technically is only coming on PlayStation right now, but I just feel like there's some dumb PlayStation exclusive thing they're going to... Or if anything... is going to be like a Final Fantasy controller they're going to showcase, or a Final Fantasy headset.
Well, they've already showed off
Final Fantasy plates for the PlayStation 5.
Well, they've already shown that all off.
They did?
Yeah, though you remember a couple weeks ago we talked about how Japan is getting the exclusive But
I mean for America.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I think what could happen, and this would make me a lot happier. We see a very, very small snippet of Final Fantasy 16. I'm talking about maybe like 45 seconds. It's like, hey, don't forget, it's coming. And then that rolls right in to Final Fantasy 7. And we get a release date for Final Fantasy 7.
This year. Please.
Let's hope so.
I put on my fantasy. Don't need any more delays, please.
And I believe it's counterpicked too, so you can't get rid of it.
I know.
Although I kind of hope it comes out this year, so it fucks over whoever counterpicked it.
I know.
Who did counterpick that? I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, if it's DJ, I'd feel so bad for him.
No, DJ.
I kind of hope it's
DJ counterpicked the Last of Us multiplayer game.
Oh, dude, I hope that also releases this year, and I hope it gets like in the 80s or
worthy
something like
counterpicked.
I want them to lose more points. I want DJ to suffer more as he already has this year.
Yeah.
But I also want Worthy to because of Monopoly, dude. Fuck that guy. I want him to suffer. I want him to actually lose some points. But I'm also now kind of scared about a certain game that got a trailer recently. That kind of scares me. I need to watch it, but I hope to God it doesn't score too high. Please.
What, Street Fighter?
Lords of the Fallen.
Oh, no, it's not
I put that as one of my counterpicks. I counterpicked it, so...
I mean, you could drop it if you want.
Can?
You can drop anything. Yeah, anyway.
I might drop
Anyway.
it.
All right. next thing I think we see here, it's already been announced game. We know it's coming. I'm excited for it. Firewall Ultra, Sony's first-party, first-person shooter for PSVR. The first game was great. I loved it. Firewall Zero Hour. It's a fantastic co-op / multiplayer shooter. I think it's finally time for them to officially unveil what Ultra is and give us a release date on it. Obviously, someone who has PSVR 2, I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I think that is here. And one other thing for PSVR 2, I want to throw out there as, I think, a yes. Not as, I have some PSVR 2 stuff and maybe, but as a yes, I think we finally get the unveil of Resident Evil 4 VR and then release date for it.
Yeah.
I think those two things are absolutely going to be here.
Ada Wong's DLC. I didn't even think about putting that on there. I think they are going to actually showcase that here. That would be an amazing thing. Actually, I should have put that as a yes. So I'm going to say that right now. I didn't add any more yeses other than those three, but I do think, what is it called? Separate Ways?
Yeah.
Or what is it called? Yeah, that is going to be showcased here.
Okay.
And then I don't think VR is going to be here yet. I think they're going to wait to put VR out until all the DLCs come out. Whatever they're going to add.
That'd probably be smart, but people aren't smart,
yeah.
so.
But they're smart. What do you mean?
No, what else you got?
I think that's it. I think that's gonna be my last yes. All the rest of it is a lot of maybes. I don't.
Okay.
The only other thing I could say is a yes is obviously hope to God that there's some more VR stuff because PSVR has been in the fucking just silent thing for so long. They have said nothing about it. They haven't updated anything. They haven't talked about jack squat with the VR. So I'm gonna hope there's at least something big that they're saving for the showcase for VR, such as maybe Bone Lab. I know, again, you may not know much about Bone Lab, but I think Bone Lab, or I really don't think Half-Life Alyx will be there. But if Half-Life Alyx gets added, dude, that will be a game changer, dude. That would be insane. But they would have to pay Valve a pretty penny to bring that game over.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're going to be able to bring that over unless they spend a lot of money on it, which again would be smart because again it would get people to go buy the PSVR. I just hope there's something big for VR. I don't know what game.
They said
I don't know
what
studio. I don't know what it is, but they need a big one. I don't think Firewall is a big one. There's a lot of shooters out right now. There are a lot of really good VR shooters, especially you already have one on your VR, the Pavlov, a very good PSVR game. Which, by the way, I can't wait to come down and actually try the PSVR 2, which we need to talk after this about when I should come down next, because I really want to try it out. I am very excited about it.
I don't have a lot for it right now, so
yeah,
I have a lot of demos.
It'll still be fun to mess
so.
with whatever I can. Maybe I'll play the Horizon game and see how it is. I know it wasn't fantastic, but it'd be cool just to see.
It's beautiful. It looks amazing.
Yeah. So
right.
again, I think they're...
I have three more yeses, so I was going to rattle them off real quick before we get to.
Go on, yeah. Sorry, okay. I'll cut. Yeah.
So I think three more yeses. This one's gonna. Logan's probably doesn't know anything about this game. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. But this came out a long time ago when you weren't really a big PlayStation guy. So Helldivers 2. It's been leaked. It's been rumored forever. If you don't know anything about Helldivers, it was originally released in 2015. It was a top-down co-op shooter, heavily resolved around like. Base building and kind of alien defense thing. From all the leaks, all the rumors we've gotten, this is a completely different game. Pretty much a third-person action shooter game based off kind of like the original like core ideas of Helldivers. Helldivers is amazing, by the way. I loved Helldivers when it came out. So Helldivers 2 has been leaked and rumored forever. I actually do think here is when we get it. Yes, we get... something blowing up. Y'all good? No, y'all good? I'm gonna wait.
Something smells like it's burning.
That's not good. As long as it's not your computer.
Oh, I'm such an idiot.
No, you're not.
Okay, keep going. It was a candle. I was freaking out. I thought something was burning in here, so I'm like, "Oh fuck!" So I started to freak out. I'm sorry. You can keep going.
Yeah.
I actually am looking at Helldivers right now. It looks awesome.
Helldivers is fucking sick.
Really
dude.
Cool. Like. Very positive. It's on Steam. Damn.
Yeah, Helldivers is cool. So Helldivers 2 said if all the rumors be true is very different. It's not a top down. It's a third person action shooter, action co-op shooter. But this would be awesome. I don't know if it'd make huge waves because I think a lot of people have forgotten what Helldivers is. especially in like
I didn't
more.
even know this was a thing, but this looks awesome.
Dude,
This
Helldivers
looks
is
so good, dude. Like dude, I would love to play this. This would be a fun co-op game to play because it's a 4-player co-op game. That's
yeah.
awesome.
No, I loved Helldivers too. That was I think a little while before you and I became real good friends. So and I think that was before you even cared about PlayStation at all. So.
No, I've always kind of cared about PlayStation, but I was a little bit more when we first met. I was a bigger Xbox guy,
Yeah.
but
All
I'm
right.
kind of everything now. So
Two more things. I think Konami shows one of their upcoming reboots / remakes. Since we know they were going to be at E3 before they pulled out, before E3 crumbled into non-existence, I think it's pretty safe to say they're going to be here somewhere. I think the game we do see is finally the long-rumored Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, which is going to be a huge score. I do think it's exclusive to PlayStation, mostly because Silent Hills 2 is exclusive. Konami is a Japanese
per
publisher.
year.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
Konami is a Japanese publisher. You know, Sony plays very well with Japanese publishers, so I do think they have exclusive rights to this and other things. So, yeah, so I think one of them definitely going to be there. Probably going to be Metal Gear Solid. I know a lot of people are saying the new Castlevania. I think Metal Gear Solid fits more here. And finally, I think we finally see a updated gameplay trailer and release date for Stellar Blade 2, the character action game coming from the new Korean studio, which I think looks absolutely awesome. I cannot wait. I don't know why I said Stellar Blade 2. It's Stellar Blade, the only one. There's not a sequel.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I wrote a 2 down here for some
Whoa,
stupid
man,
reason.
they already came out with the first one. Holy
Didn't even know it.
Dude, they
All right.
are more efficient than Insomniac. Damn.
All right. So my 4 shows that I think are going to be here: Spider-Man 2, Last of Us Faction, Final Fantasy 16, and maybe Final Fantasy 7 reunion release date. Firewall Ultra, Helldivers 2, Konami comes out with probably Metal Gear Solid, and I think Stellar Blade. Those are the things I'm fairly confident are going to be in this. What was yours? Sorry.
It was Last of Us Factions, Spider-Man 2, and Final Fantasy. And I put exclusive stuff. And then I also said they're gonna showcase the Resident Evil 4 DLC as one of them. And then also something big in VR. I don't really know what. I'm just gonna say something big for PSVR 2.
All right, well, let's go straight in now to our maybe so's, which is more of like, what we hope, kind of like, some things based off rumors and like the fun stuff to talk about. So I'll use what you said right off the bat. I'm going to roll into PSVR 2. Team Asobi finally comes out, announces the next Astro game, obviously exclusive to PSVR 2. I think that is probably the big PSVR game. It comes out later this year. It looks amazing. It looks awesome. And that's what I think the big VR push is going to be. Also in VR, yeah. I said Half-Life Alyx, but probably not because it just.
Oh hell no!
It's. Yeah. I just think. I think Sony 100% wants it. It's just Valve has no reason to put it on there. They don't have a reason to. It sells their own VR system, so I don't think they have a good reason to put it on PSVR 2. Sony wants it, but I don't think they can get it. What was I say? Oh, one thing I did put on here just for shits and giggles. I think Team Asobi would be a good team, a good team to make a PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale Round 2.
Yeah,
because they love PlayStation. I mean, Astro's Playroom is still one of my favorite experiences on PSVR. Sorry, on PS5. I loved that game. I platinumed it.
That thing was awesome.
I think
really like that.
They capture the history of PlayStation perfectly. So if there is an All Stars Battle Royale Round 2, Team Asobi should make it. But that's a random ass hell. Ain't no way. I just threw that in there because I was writing it all up.
Yeah.
All right. What is let's say your top wish list maybe so for this?
Bloodborne remake.
Damn.
Or Bloodborne 2.
That it likely. I mean, we've heard.
Yeah, because with Blue Point, so they obviously wouldn't be making a remake, but they said they'd be making something original. But something original would be a Bloodborne 2, because obviously the developers of like was it Bandai Namco or whatever, they're obviously not going to be going back and making more Bloodborne. They are moving on. They're doing their own thing. They got Elden Ring. So Blue Point.
Well, Bandai Namco is a producer from software.
Sorry, from software. Sorry, I got that mixed up. But Blue Point making the Demon Souls remake was a very big project, and they did an insanely good job with it. I think a lot of people agree it was a fantastic remake. So obviously it would be great to see what they've done with that and kind of make a Bloodborne 2. That would be pretty sick. Obviously, it's a maybe. I really don't know how much faith I have in that, but it would be damn cool to see a Bloodborne 2. But I also think there might be a brand new port of Bloodborne 1 brought over to PS5 in some way or form, a remake, because a lot of people love that game. A lot of people still rave about it to this day. People have been begging PlayStation to upgrade it in some way or form because it never got a PS4 Pro upgrade. Never got any kind of upgrade. It just came out on PS4 regular, and it just has stayed that way. And I think a lot of people agree. It'd be awesome if they ported it over to PS5 and brought up that resolution and brought up that frame rate. I think a lot of people would be happy with that, honestly. I think everyone would be happy if they just moved it over, increased the resolution, increased the frame rate. Boom. People would love that. They don't even have to do anything that crazy. They just port it over and upgrade it. So that'd be a cool thing too to add.
Going off
Those
that,
are both kind of a part of it.
yeah. Going off that, I have what the fuck is Bluepoint working on? It's time to find out. I think Bloodborne 2 is. I think there's two things that. I know they're working on an original game. We know they are. I think there's there's two franchises that I can see going either way. It's either Bloodborne or Uncharted. Which one are they working on? Because we know somebody is working with Naughty Dog on an established franchise, and I highly doubt Sony says, "Hey, let's make another Jack game." So, and they don't own the rights to Crash. So the only other thing there is Uncharted, unless somebody else is making Last of Us Part 2. But I don't think there's any way in hell Sony would allow someone else other than the Naughty Dog to make The Last of Us Part 3. I think I said Part 2 on accident.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, but
I don't think Naughty Dog's working on Part 3.
The natural progression for them would be, I think it'd be really cool if they continue down this route of making these Souls-like games, but their own. And Bloodborne is so unique to PlayStation that it would honestly be a dumb idea not to continue with it. I think everybody absolutely loved Bloodborne. I would love to play Bloodborne, but I'm kind of wishing that they would upgrade it at some point. So honestly, it would be an amazing announcement if not only they announced a port of Bloodborne 1 brought over, but also Bluepoint making a Bloodborne 2. And I think everybody would lose their shit. And I would love that. I kind of want to throw a dumb one in here real quick that I didn't put on this list, but I just want to do it in here anyways. And this is a shits and giggles kind of thing. But a new Order 1886.
Oh God. Order 1887.
Dude, I want them to continue that game. I know that the original team is way gone. They're making VR games now. They're doing their own thing. Man, dude, I think that is lost potential with that game. But also probably people will say the same for Days Gone, and there'll never be a new Days Gone. I think literally Order 1886 had something special. It's just the fact that they charge full price for a very short game. And it was a very good still, like, if you got it down the line for a cheaper price, or you got it for free from, like, a friend, like I did for Mike, I think the game is still good, and I would really love if they kind of brought it back, because I loved that game. I think they had a very unique style to it. I thought the combat was fun. It's just that the story ended off in the shittiest way possible. And I think if they brought it back again, they tried again, and they actually did something, that'd be really cool. But that's like a deep maybe. Like, I really don't think this is going to be here at all. Like, basically, such a slim chance. It'd be like a 1% chance it would show.
I was going to say.
It's still a maybe.
Chance.
Yeah.
My next one, I'm going to go off something that you said no. I think it's been long enough. I think, they have the engine. They have all the basis. I think 3 years is enough time. I think the show ends with Ghost of Tsushima 2.
That'd be cool.
I think they show it off.
Upset.
I don't think
hyped for that. But
I don't think we get a release date. I don't think we get anything like that. It just comes on. Probably something very short, very similar to what they did with God of War Ragnarok when they first showed that off.
They'll probably throw a year at the bottom. They probably won't put a release date. They'll probably be like 2025.
But I think we get a very short teaser, pretty much unveiling the new name and location of the game. There's a lot of rumors say Ghost of Katagawa out there is going to be the new one, which is another location around the same time period where there was an invasion and war happening during that time. So maybe not. I think right before that, though, they trick us. They show Ghost of Tsushima, but they announce PC release date set for August this year.
Yeah. Okay. That's one thing I've been wondering if they would ever do. That was a good point.
So
That's
I
a good
think
one.
I think they show that and people are like, oh, okay, never mind, and then boom, Ghost of
And then
Tsushima.
they like
They
that'd be
go
cool if
right
they
into
like
it.
fade out, but then they fade out the background and it shows like a new thing, and then it has like a 2 pop up,
Yeah,
and then it says 2025 or 2024,
yeah,
probably
that'd
2024
be
would
really
make
cool.
sense.
All
Yeah.
right,
I have a deep one again. Another one that's a little bit more wild. A God of War side game, kind of like Miles Morales, but it's with Atreus. I just fucked up his name again.
Atreus,
I swear,
Atreus,
Atreus. Honestly, it would be pretty cool to
that'd be
have a little
awesome.
side game
Who's
because now we're
who's
in a bit
making
of a
it though?
lull.
You think Santa Monica's making it?
I think they would
Really?
because they have the engine, they have everything else. They don't have to do anything super crazy with it. They just kind of use what they already have and make like because there is a little bit of a lull right now. No one knows where God of War is going to go, especially with how it ended. So it'd be cool to do a little side story with Atreus. God damn it. Yeah, it's
Atreus.
Atreus.
No, it's Atreus. I,
Atreus.
I don't
Damn
know
it.
why this is so hard
Atreus.
for you.
I don't know what Atreus. Okay.
There you go.
And what's her name? I forgot.
His little girlfriend.
Yeah,
Um.
because they went off on the like they can kind of do the whole like a little side adventure with him doing finding all the giants and stuff in this side
Why
game.
can't I come?
I forgot her name too. Feel a little
Loki's
bad, but
wife.
wifey. There you go.
Loki's wife. Well, that wasn't right. Why can I not think of her name? It's not with a G. Angraboda, not a G. Has G in it though.
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah. Yeah,
Angraboda.
so yeah, I think it'd be cool to have a little side game, kind of like a Miles Morales. They could release like probably next year if they've been working on it. I don't know. And it'd be a little side game, like a little side game where they'll do a little story with
Like 10 to 12 hours.
Atreus. I just fucked up again. Yeah,
Atreus.
Atreus. I swear, I can't. Okay, Atreus. It would be a cool little side story. Again, that's a very kind of deep maybe, but it would be a good way of like kind of like gapping this like, okay, what is going to be the future of God of War? Because I don't feel like we have a good idea of what that's going to be yet, and I feel like that'd be a good way of transitioning into what they might be doing in the future. Who knows? I want to throw in one more. This is something you already brought up, so that's why I'm throwing this in real quick. It's Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Oh, I think we definitely see that, honestly. That's why I
Yeah,
put in the
but that is
yeses.
my maybe because I really don't know. I know it's been talked about a lot. I wonder who's making it because obviously it's not Blue Point.
Well, it's
So,
Konami. Someone's making it Konami.
yeah, that's fair. So we'll see. Yeah,
All right.
that's all I really got for my maybes. So everything else is all you.
I do think we see here from Santa Monica, but I do not think it is Atreus' story. I think we finally see what Cory Barlog's been working on. We all know he has a separate team. He's been working on a brand new IP over there, presumably for 3 to 4 years now since the release of 2018. We know it's rumored that it's some kind of little sci-fi game. I think it would be really, really cool. This one I almost put in the yeses because I think it's time. I think it's time we see what he's working on over there. We've known for a long time he's working on something. We know it's a new IP. So this is a very, very close yes, but I'm still going to put it in the maybe because Sony is very cagey right now with a bunch of stuff. So we'll see, but I think there's a good chance that we see what Cory Barlog's been working on. Since you're done, I'll rattle off some of these. I think we maybe get an update on Little Devil Inside. No one knows what the fuck's going on with that game. It was there at the unveiling of the PS5. We last got an update during one of the State of Plays, I think in 2021. No one knows what the hell's going on with that game. It seems like it's in trouble, so it sucks because I think it looks really cool. I think we get an update on that. Pragmata, that game coming from Capcom, that was also at the PlayStation Showcase, I think in 2021.
What was that one again?
It looked a lot like Death Stranding. It was like that space game. Pragmata. Pragmata.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What the hell, dude? I forgot about this game.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
They're still working
That's
on
a
it,
weird.
hopefully.
Who was making this game?
Capcom.
Capcom? Really? That's a Capcom game? I don't know why. This seems like such a
It looks like
fucking
Death Stranding.
yeah,
It
it
looks like a
has that
Hideo
kind of
game.
vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a weird looking game, but I'm also kind of curious about it. So yeah.
All right. I think the only really deep cut I have, like, you know, hopeful, wishful praying here, outside of Half-Life Alyx, is we see what Bungie's new IP is. There's rumors that it's a reboot of the Marathon franchise, the one that they did before Halo. It's technically not a reboot, but I mean, it's been 30 years since that game came out. Or those games came out. I think we get a look at one of what the new IP is. The reason, pretty much, why Sony bought them. But that's a deep cut. And then I think this one's almost a definite. We get at least a couple of the new live service games that they're working on, whether that be London Studios game that we heard about, that little fantasy-driven game, Firewalk's FPS live service game they're working on, and maybe we see what Haven's been working on over there. Who knows? One of those has got to be here. We definitely get a live service game. I don't think it's just going to be Last of Us Factions. I think the coolest thing would be we finally get a look at the Horizon multiplayer game. And what the hell is that? That would be awesome. It's clearly been in deep development for a long time now. They've talked about it. It's been leaked for years. What is the Horizon multiplayer game? It's time to let us know. I don't think I have anything else. What up? You just came up with something.
Yeah. I think as another maybe is a game called Where Winds Meet, which is basically kind of like Ghost of Tsushima but set in China.
It's that game they're making with
That's the game we
Team
haven't
Ninja, right?
seen in a long while. Yeah. And it looks really good. And they haven't showed it in a long while, so I think that's a good maybe. That's a little bit more of a higher chance to see than most of these things. So I think it'd be cool to see some more of it. There's also another game that looked really cool, but I forgot who it was that was making it. That was also kind of a lot like this. What was it called? There was another. They showed off like a lot of games, and they all kind of like blended together, in my opinion. There was another like open world, kind of reminded me of Ghost of Tsushima game that was coming out, and it kind of also reminded me of like Yakuza, but it wasn't that game. What was it?
I don't know.
Damn. Oh, well, I'll look it up. But yeah, that's the end of my maybes so far.
Yeah, my maybes are done. I mean, there's so much because Sony hasn't said anything for so long. I did want to say at the top of this that I completely forgot to say. I think it is fair for people to have their hype up for this. I always preach and tell people to keep your hype in check, especially for the state of plays. But this isn't a state of play. This is a showcase. Sony's going to come. We got over an hour of content here. Sony's going to come big with this. I think there's probably a lot of things here that we got right. There's probably a lot of things that we had no effing clue are on the way, and we're going to be surprised and shocked. My hype levels are through the roof from this. I'm not holding back anything. I can't wait. I'm going to be salivating all day Wednesday waiting for you to get home. You better drive quick. I don't care if you get a ticket. Fucking press the gas pedal, all right?
Yeah.
All right, but yeah. I am very excited for this. I can't wait. We will have that uploaded Wednesday night to you. I'm going to get it uploaded almost immediately after we get done reacting to it. So we should get that all to you Wednesday night at the latest Thursday morning. So, but that was our prediction / what we expect, what we hope to be here. Let us know down below what you guys were thinking. Let us know quick, because if you tell me something after Wednesday, I'm gonna call bullshit because you already know what is there. So let us know quick down below. We're gonna go now to a rest of the Round the Point. We got some cool stories here to talk about, so I'm excited to talk to Logan about some of these things we haven't talked about. One thing that's not really a news story, but an update is number 2 on Around the Point. To literally no one's surprise in the entire history of video games, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has sold a shit ton of copies. This comes away from Insider Games and Nintendo themselves. They have announced that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has sold 10 million copies in just 3 days. The milestone makes Tears of the Kingdom the fastest selling game in the history of the Zelda series. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, hold on. There's one thing. The news comes following Monday's report that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was the biggest box launch this year so far in the UK. Hogwarts Legacy, which has been the year's biggest launch until now, sold 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks, a figure likely to be beaten by Tears of the Kingdom in the coming days, considering they sold 10 million in 3 days. So, like, I don't think this is a surprise to anybody who has ever played a video game, but Tears of the Kingdom is making a lot of money out there. What do you got, man?
Okay. Real quick, finally found the game I was talking about,
Okay.
Rise of the Ronin, which is the
Oh
Tomb Raider
yeah.
game. That game is a big, huge maybe, dude. That game looks awesome.
Okay, so
It's
if
heavily a lot like
okay, so that's
Ghost
yeah,
of Tsushima.
yeah, that's a PS5 exclusive. Who's making Where the Winds Meet then?
That's a good question. Let me look that up real quick. Wait, let's see. Where's it at? Where?
I Everstone. No clue.
Everstone. Yeah, that's another game that looked pretty cool. So yeah, those are two games that are big maybes. Because they were
Yeah,
both
Rise of the
showcased at
Ronin.
the
Yeah,
same the
that's
last time.
so that's the PS5 exclusive one too. So that one will make a
Yeah,
lot of
that one
sense here.
looks sick. I can't wait to see more of that game. I'm gonna say that's a big maybe. But about Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, I'm really happy to see it's selling insanely well. I mean, it's doing and like absolute insane because I think what Breath of the Wild got to like 30 million, but that also took a while. And this game's already at 10 million. That's insane. This is definitely gonna probably outsell Breath of the Wild, and that's insane. I'm very happy to see that it's selling insanely well. It's definitely worth selling that. I mean, it's definitely a damn good game. Um, yeah, there's not much more I can say. I'm just happy to see that it's selling insanely well.
Yeah, so hold on, I'm looking at the sales here. So right now, Breath of the Wild. Oh my God, yes, I accept your cookies. I don't give a shit about your cookies.
For sure.
Stupid. 28.9 million units for Breath of the Wild. But from what I'm looking up here, it only sold just shy of 3 million units in the first couple months. So this is
Yeah.
crazy different.
Yeah, like
Crazy
it's a
different.
huge amount.
For reference, the highest selling game before Breath of the Wild in its totality was Twilight Princess at 8.8 million units. So Tears of the Kingdom has outsold Twilight Princess in its first 3 days.
Damn.
That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of Switches out there, so. Alright. Anything else you got, buddy?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, number 3 on Around the on Around the Point. Amazon Games has announced they are making a MMO set in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings universe. This comes by way of Insider Gaming. It says Amazon Games have announced a new massively multiplayer online game set in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. The game, which is currently in development, will be published and developed by Amazon Games. The Lord of the Rings MMO will be set in Middle Earth, no shit, and will feature the stories of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This comes from the VP of Amazon Games, Mr. Christopher Hartman. He says, "We're committed to bringing players high quality games, whether through original IPs or long beloved ones like The Lord of the Rings. Bringing players a fresh take on The Lord of the Rings has long been an aspiration of our team, and we're honored and grateful that Middle Earth Enterprises has entrusted us with this iconic world. We're also pleased to be expanding our relationship with Embracer Group following our Tomb Raider deal last year, as they've proven to be excellent collaborators." He goes on to say that they are excited to building immersive, compelling game worlds, and so on and so forth. Now, we are not the MMO guys over here, definitely, but does
No.
this do anything for you? Does it excites you at all?
No.
Fair enough, I
As
guess.
much as it'd be cool to see an MMO in that, I'd much rather honestly an RPG set in that. That'd be a lot more exciting in my
Well, we
opinion.
already
But
have an
you
MMO.
know,
We have the Lord of the Rings Online, which
I know.
they did say isn't going anywhere, which is going to be weird, but
Yeah. They're
because
gonna be competing with literally another one, but whatever.
themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd much rather a RPG or something cool like that put in there. But it seems like Amazon is very stuck on making MMOs because I mean, heck, they already made another MMO again that they're going to be competing against called New World, which is supposedly really good from what I could tell. I mean, obviously the problem with it is it supposedly hasn't had as much support, which making another MMO is going to probably cut down even more support on it. So I don't know. I think New World was probably the only MMO that ever sounded cool to me because there's actually a lot going on in New World and the way that you can make your character. It's a lot like Skyrim in the sense that you can kind of build the character however you want. It's not very heavily class based, where most MMOs are. Um, so it's kind of cool. So that, I mean, whatever. I just don't really care for MMOs because MMOs are those kind of games that you have to like basically dedicate your life to just
Yeah,
that
it's a
game. And
lifestyle
that's
game.
why I just don't, yeah, like if you like MMOs, then great. Then you can literally dedicate your whole life on that one game. And that's what's cool about MMOs. But me, I like variety and I like trying a bunch of different games. And if I played an MMO, that's all I play for the entire year, which just doesn't sound fun to me.
Yeah,
So
I don't think I can do that.
no.
Like I said, I think my most played game of all time is like 400 something hours. So, and that's like
Yeah.
chump change to MMO players. And I
Mm-hmm.
think last time I lived with Logan, our buddy, he was like at like thousands of hours in RuneScape, like thousands and thousands of hours. I can't.
People still play that game to this day.
He was
That's
actually
crazy.
he was actually playing it this morning when I got on Discord. I was waiting for you. He was playing RuneScape. Like always, man. All the dude does is play RuneScape. But hey, I guess if that's what you like, that's what you like. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't even fathom playing one game for that long. So,
No.
all right. An interesting story that I'm sure is going to make both Logan and I very happy. After a reported down year, Ubisoft is planning on dumping a huge amount of resources into the upcoming and new Assassin's Creed content coming our way. This comes away again of Insider Gaming. It says, during Tuesday's Ubisoft earnings call, CEO Yves Guillemot said the company is going to move employees around within the company to bulk up the Assassin's Creed team. As part of our progressive reallocation of resources, we notably plan to increase the number of talents working on the Assassin's Creed brand by 40% over the coming year, Mr. Guillemot said. Currently, the company has about 2,000 developers working on the Assassin's Creed franchise. That makes up 10% of the current 20,000 employees at Ubisoft, a number that has fallen recently as the company has closed offices and restructured over the last couple of years. By upping the development total by 40%, Assassin's Creed will have a whopping 2,800 people working on just the Assassin's Creed series. Goes on to say the company is also working on games such as Skull and Bones Crew, Motorfest, Avatar, and more. 2,800 people working on Assassin's Creed. I am pretty sure
And
that's
it's still gonna probably be a half-ass game.
I'm pretty sure that's close to the entirety of PlayStation's first-party studios, if not more.
Yeah.
That's fucking. Why? Why do you need so many people to make a game?
And it's still probably not even gonna be that good. Like you're putting all these people on there, like what are they doing? Because it seems like I don't know how much they had on Valhalla, but yeah, that just seems like an excessive amount of people for one game. But I mean, hey, if it makes an insanely good game, I guess that's cool.
Well, they said
I
the
mean, it
Assassin's
does
Creed
seem like
franchise.
some of the
so.
resources are going into some dumb things, which I heard this week, like their new NFT thing they're doing now with Assassin's Creed, where now you could buy these whatever they are. They're like they're like you can like customize this like one of these assassins and you can make them in a pose and it goes into this resin cube and then they literally add a NFT upon that so that you own an NFT and then that NFT will let people know that it's authentic. And it was literally there's other ways to make things authentic by literally putting it on the box.
So
Like that's how it's been done for years, but
it's a digital
no,
statue.
they want to add it. Yeah, no, it's a legit physical statue, but you get an NFT to show that it is
Original.
authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of one.
And then they expect you to sell it like a normal NFT.
But it's a physical item?
That way. Yeah.
That's confusing.
It's a it's very confusing. And it's really dumb.
Why don't they just charge people for that normally? It doesn't have to be connected to NFTs
I know,
at all.
It literally makes no sense. They could literally just sell the statue thing.
Because honestly,
like normal.
That sounds like a decent idea.
It's because they're making money from it.
Well, yeah,
NFTs,
I understand that.
when you sell an NFT, they always keep making money from that. So then no matter what, if they decide to sell that statue, they're making money off that sale. So that's why they're making an NFT, so they can make easy money. They not only are selling it to you, but then they're going to keep getting money when you sell it again. Which I still don't understand, but
no,
whatever.
That's confusing as fuck. I don't get.
It's super stupid, but yeah, I heard that this week, and I'm like, I swear, Ubisoft. Like,
I guess I'm dumb and I don't understand it. And I listened to Dr. Disrespect's rant about NFTs and how no one understands it and we're all dumb. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. So whether either I am the dumb one or you're dumb, one of the two
No,
options.
it's basically just a pyramid scheme to basically make money from the person. Like, because the people that are selling it, they're the ones that are making money. So the first people that make that original product are the ones that are constantly going to be making money, while the people that buy it won't be. So, like, basically, if they sell it to you and they sell it to the next person, they get the next person still gets money. But then if that next person after that sells it, then the next two people also get money. So they're constantly like, it's like this line of like getting more and more money the more it's sold. But it's
Okay.
just dumb. It's a pyramid scheme, and then it's just a whole thing of like, oh, we're gonna make it sound like there's not a lot of these, but then there are a lot of these, and then they're gonna make it seem like, oh, there's supply and demand kind of thing. It's so dumb. I don't support NFT crap. I think it's really dumb. It makes no sense at all, but it's just rich people trying to sell it so they can make easy money. And in my opinion, I hope it fails, and I'm surprised it still has not failed. It's still holding on. I don't know why people keep holding on to it, because everyone hates it and no one supports it and everyone knows it's kind of a scam. So,
Okay. So
unless you're a person.
I was wrong. Updated as of 2022, Sony Entertainment Worldwide Studios had approximately 4,000 employees throughout all the things that they own. But still, that's
That's
almost the same
insane.
amount. That's 1,200
Yeah.
less working on one franchise. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
take those numbers in comparison. PlayStation Studios around 4,000. Ubisoft 20,000. Who makes the better
Jesus.
games?
I know.
Who makes the better game? The amount of people don't matter. It's the talent that you have on your teams. And I'm sorry, Ubisoft. The
Well, and
talent.
also like taking the time to make a good game, where
Yeah.
Ubisoft doesn't do that. They want to rush things out like every year. That's why Assassin's Creeds were pushed out like clockwork. And
Technically, we have not had an Assassin's Creed game since 2020.
yeah, that's fair.
Technically.
But
It's been a
we'll
while.
see how this Mirage is going to be. So
I'm excited, actually.
I think it got pushed back, didn't it?
I have no clue. I haven't really been paying attention.
I don't know.
I'll play when it comes out. I have no fucking clue. All right.
That's fair.
Number 5 on Around the Point. This one's a cool one. We talked about it last week. We'll talk about, well, I guess we're literally talking about it right now. Mortal Kombat 12 has in fact been announced, and it is Mortal Kombat 1, the third Mortal Kombat 1 in the franchise as a whole. Jokes aside, they had what in my opinion was a badass looking trailer. Anyway, reading from the IGN article, it says Warner Brother Games and NetherRealm Studios have officially revealed that a rebooted Mortal Kombat 1 will arrive on September 19th for PS5, Xbox X and S, Nintendo Switch somehow, and PC. Following an earnings call teased earlier this year, Warner Bros. Discovery and NetherRealm have announced Mortal Kombat 1 officially on its website, saying Mortal Kombat 1 is the latest title in the acclaimed Mortal Kombat video game franchise developed by award-winning NetherRealm Studios. The game will introduce a reborn Mortal Kombat universe that has been created by the fire god Liu Kang, featuring reimagined versions of iconic characters as they've never been seen before, along with a new fighting system, game modes, bone-crushing finisher moves, and more. Logan, did you get a chance to check out this trailer when it came out? It made its
I did
way.
not even know this came out.
Okay, well, you were just not tapped in at all.
No.
So we're gonna pause the video real quick, and Logan's gonna watch this because I fucking love this trailer. All right, so we'll be back for you in a millisecond, but for us in a couple minutes. Yeah. And we're back just like that. What'd you think, man?
That was pretty sick.
Dude, the trailer was so cool, dude.
I love how like in the second half it just got very brutal, but I love that they just kind of showed some finishers, especially that last one that is definitely a fatality. Yeah, it looks cool. Again, I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's just one big cinematic trailer, so that didn't really show me much of the actual game itself, especially since it's supposedly going to be coming out in September. I really would have wished it just showed gameplay, but it seems like that's what Mortal Kombat always does. They always show these awesome cinematic trailers. But you could definitely tell there's some cool finishers going on in this game. I really got brutal like very quickly in the second half of the game. I'm still kind of worried about this game because all of its thing it's showing is just a lot of microtransactions and all of its additions. 1,250 dragon crystals. Woo. Yay, that sounds fun, doesn't it? You can go buy your dumb whatever crap in the game, I'm sure. I just
Yeah, I
hope this
mean,
game has more than the other games, like, but it's probably gonna be the same thing. It's probably gonna be there's a campaign, there's fighting in arenas, and there's probably the normal like the ladder thing, and then that's pretty much it. Probably like every other Mortal Kombat in the past 5 years. I just wish they would do something new, but who knows? They didn't really show anything new in this game. It just looks like more Mortal Kombat. So that's why I'm not really that excited for it because it's probably going to be the same thing. It's going to be a decent story that's 3 hours long. It's going to have the normal fighting, a game stuff we always have, and then the ladder system. And then maybe like a dumb little mini game that like is not fun at all that you probably play for like 0.5 seconds and you're like, okay, well, that was cool. And that's it. That's probably the whole game. I just pretty much summed up what probably the entire game is going to be.
well, that's fair. I love Mortal Kombat games, so
I do
I
too,
I
but
love
like
the
I just wish
stories.
they did more, you know.
Yeah,
Like you go back to the PS2 games, there's so much more stuff in that game, and you go play these new games, and it's like there's like half, not even half, probably a fourth of what was in the PS2 games, and that's where I'm just like, ugh. Like I love Mortal Kombat X. I enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those games I wait till it's on deep, deep, deep sale, and it's like it comes with all the content. Like when it's like $20, you can get the premium edition and it
yeah,
gives
like
you
the
all the stuff.
XL, you know.
Yeah, like that's when it's worth it. But like, I wish they could give me a reason to want to get it day one, but it's not. They don't. It's just the same shit over and over again, and it's just lame. Like I want something new. I want you to do something like Street Fighter right now. Like honestly, Street Fighter is doing some cool stuff right now, and I want them to do the same. I want Mortal Kombat to do some cool stuff. I want, for some reason, Mortal Kombat chess to come back. Like do stupid shit. Do something fun, please. But going back to my reaction, the trailer is cool. It's a cool cinematic trailer. We didn't get to really see any of the game, but supposedly this thing's still releasing on the Switch, so that's going to be interesting. I wonder what new additions they're going to do to the game, if there is anything new. I don't know, but I'm still interested in it, just not a day one. I still haven't gotten Mortal Kombat 11, so
I played the story of 11. It came to I think PlayStation Plus or something sometime.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited about this. I think it's really cool. I like reboots because they're kind of like a fresh take and new characters, new stories. This is definitely going off obviously the Liu Kang ending from Mortal Kombat 11 where he pretty much resets the multiverse because Mortal Kombat 11 is all about time traveling and the multiverse stuff, multiple different characters, and Liu Kang assuming the old Raiden position of being that god protector of Earthrealm. And now this game, Raiden seems to be kind of like a normal human being, where Liu Kang is the god, and I'm just very excited because I just think it's fucking cool, man. Like, I'm not a day one, like you said. I play it when it goes on sale. I can experience the story, all the different characters, and I mess around in the tournament modes and practice. I don't go online because I get fucking destroyed every single
Oh
second.
yeah, no.
So
Like I like playing against friends. That's where it's at. But like
yeah,
online, no, I'm
maybe
good. I don't
you
even play Smash Bros online.
yeah maybe you and I can get on there when the game comes out and
Yeah.
fight each other. So you to be fair, you're better at fight. Well, I guess you're better at Smash than I am. We've never actually played a fighting game together, so
No, we haven't. No.
all right. All right. Second to last story. Well, last story. Second to last thing we want to talk about here. Earlier this week, a data miner for Hogwarts Legacy has unveiled a little bit of information that I think is generally quite cool. So, anyway, reading from the story on IGN. It says fans who notice that Hogwarts Legacy has an unusual lack of repercussions for murdering and using other unforgivable curses will be pleased to hear that developer Avalanche Software also thought about it a lot too. As reported by PC Gamer, a new data miner of the popular Harry Potter game has revealed that a morality system was at least teased before launch, meaning using unforgivable curses wasn't quite so free and easy. The name of the YouTuber Grand Theft Diamonds uncovered a hidden morality system while looking through the game's SQL files. so SQL files, and it would have given a house point penalty to wizards who choose to use Avada Kedavra and the other forgivable curses. The whole breakdown is, as you might expect, the killing curse would have racked up the worst penalty, removing 100 points, casting Imperius 50. Other gaming actions such as extortion or bullying would have cost 50 to 25 points respectively. Only a few actions awarded an increase, like studying in class, attending 10, or participating in a club, which added 5 or so points. It's not just a house point deduction either. Other consequences for your misdeeds include references to crime scene investigation and call AF, which I guess stands for call authority figure. Ultimately, however, the morality system, as we know, was scrapped. What do you think about this, man? I think this is one of the big things that the game was missing, was a morality system for using the curses and all that. I understand the
Yeah,
developers.
I think
Sorry. I understand the developers want and need to have player freedom and all that, but having a morality system and having kind of like that punishment system doesn't necessarily take away from the freedom. You can still do whatever you want, but in universe writing, that keeps it in line. And like, there's always been in Harry Potter a negative thing to come with using these curses, the loss of humanity or whatever or such. And I think that's one of the game's big misses for me, that there wasn't a penalty for not using the curses. Like even maybe giving you just a bad ending. Because the only really way to get a bad ending is just to make that dialogue choice at the end of the game. That's the only thing you have to do. I think, if you use the curses extensively and all that, you just become a dark wizard. Very similar to like Mass Effect. The more you act like a bad guy and the more you act like, in their game, a renegade, your actual physical appearances change and the way people react to you changes. Like it could have gone, you're walking around Hogwarts using Avada Kedavra, like no one really wants to talk to you. The professors stay away from you. There's some sort of visual representation of that, isolationism that comes with what it means to be a dark wizard in the universe. And I understand that's a lot, but I think that's the game's biggest detraction for me. Even though I still love the game, I absolutely adore the game, platinumed it. So
yeah, they I think that, and the fact that you can't really go to classes whenever you want, and also the fact that they even brought up like clubs and all that. I think that's a lot of like what was negative for me. Like especially the fact that you're a student and most of the game you're not really a student. You don't really actually go to class that often for like the second half of the game. And that's where it kind of sucks because it ruins the immersion and it kind of makes me be like, am I actually a student? So yeah, the I it's cool to see that they clearly were going to add it in, but it seems like they ran out of time and they had to change some things. Again, hoping the sequel does a lot of what was, like hopefully fixes a lot of these things. But it's cool to see that it was supposedly they had it in mind. I kind of had a feeling they did have it in mind. But yeah, I hope in the next one, the sequel, or maybe even a DLC, because I mean, who knows if they're gonna come out with the DLC? Maybe they'll add some of this stuff back in. I don't know. It would be kind of cool. But yeah,
one
you
can
know.
only one can only hope and pray. I do think it would have been awesome to have that in there, and like you said, make you feel more like a student. I do think that's the game's biggest negative, is you're just not a student. Like the
Yeah,
game makes
like
this
you only like the first half of the game, you actually feel like a student,
not even
and
half. I
then
didn't think
after
like the
that,
first quarter.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
There's of occasional times like in the halfway point you still go to class, but yeah, it just doesn't. I just wish they added like a bully system, like they where you can go to classes when you want, and if you go to classes, you can get bonuses, which would be really cool. A good way to unlock bonus things and everything. Also just to keep your immersion, the fact that you're a student would be cool. I think another thing I wish they did was at nighttime, you could definitely tell too they didn't have enough time to implement stealth mechanics as well as they could have, because it would have been really cool at night is if there were people actually roaming the halls that were looking for you and you had to sneak out. I think that would have been a far better system. I know that is frustrating for the casual audience, but I think it would make things again far more immersive because you're a student, you shouldn't be out at night, and yet in the game you could just kind of walk around at night, no one gives a
Yeah.
crap.
There's like 2 story
So
missions, like the whole
yeah,
library
which I think is
sequence.
just so it's still very
Yeah.
weird those missions because it just feels way off because as soon as the mission ends you could just walk right back where you did and there's no
Yeah.
one there. And
Yeah.
it's just so awkward because you could definitely tell they wanted to keep that system in there, but I guess during playtesting people are probably like, oh, that's frustrating. And I'm like, I personally would maybe have a settings option where you can call it immersive mode and then have one for the casual where you turn off immersive mode, because I would rather have immersive. Like, I'd rather be
Yeah.
immersed in this world and actually. And again, it would make me use stealth more. I barely use stealth in the game at all because it's like you didn't need it. You didn't need it.
Oh yeah.
There was no point.
Once I got deep enough into the game, I was so fucking powerful. I just ran in there and
Yeah,
just
yeah. I
destroyed
just went
everybody
in
like
and fought.
immediately.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was more fun to fight. But if you added more stealth mechanics and also just made it more of a viable thing, where literally at night you had to sneak around a lot more, or in areas that are restricted where you would have to sneak around there too. Very cool mechanic. It would be a lot more exciting having to actually sneak around and get to those certain areas. But that wasn't in the game. But again, they have a sequel and they have DLC to hopefully fix those things.
Yeah.
So
Like
we'll see.
like you said, they could have interwoven the like upgrades with like those real world going to class like Bully did. Like
Hmm.
they had a whole skill tree system where you could unlock upgrades to your spells. Why not just tie that to going to class?
Or even like, even if it's like not even like super bonus things, you can go to class and get like, I don't know, maybe they could do like, you go to certain classes and it helps increase. Maybe they can have different. I don't really know how to describe this. Maybe like a Skyrim thing where when you go to like specific classes, it increases your experience towards that specific area, and then you can upgrade that specific skill tree. Kind of like Skyrim, when you use a one-handed weapon or you do armory enough, it levels up that certain section of the skill tree, and then you can level up that area. That would be kind of cool. So like obviously combat, if you want to level up combat, you can either go to a combat class or go fight enemies and stuff. That will increase that thing. But if you want your alchemy and all that increase, you go to an alchemy class. And if you do really good in the alchemy class, you get bonus XP. And that's your way of leveling up alchemy and everything. Very good idea. And it's just like Skyrim, where you can build the character how you want. So if you don't want to focus on alchemy all the time, you don't have to go do that all the time. You can go do other things or focus on other things. Like, another little bonus. Either way would have worked a lot better than just what they did in the game. I just wish you got to go to class more. I know it's weird. I know that may not be super exciting to everyone, especially the casual audience. They probably don't care. But for me, I feel like I would have been a lot more immersed in the game if I actually got to go to class more. I'd love to go to class more and actually experience like the teacher teaching you something. You could put a little mini game in there to make it more exciting, like Bully. Boom. That's the way to do it.
All right. Well, that's not what happened. So unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
All
Yeah,
right.
but we have a sequel, so we know probably most of the things will hopefully be fixed.
Our last little thing, little reaction here. We forgot to do it last week. Well, technically, I forgot to do it. I'm the one who writes the damn thing. But Gran Turismo had a trailer a couple weeks ago. Both Logan and I have seen it, so let's react to it. I will say, while the movie does not look like the next cinematic masterpiece, I think it looks significantly better than any right it has to. I thought this looked like a very fun movie. I'm very excited about it. I think the story is probably the only thing they can do with Gran Turismo, but I think the actors look good. David, what's his name? Tenenbaum? I don't remember what his name is. Anyway, the main trainer guy, he looks cool. Orlando Bloom being in the game, that's cool. He's actually a big fan of Gran Turismo, so that's a little neat little thing that he's in there. And I just think it overall, just honestly, it surprised me that it just looked like a fun movie.
Yeah. Amy left actually saying that looked cool too, so Amy's pretty excited for it too.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean it looks better than I expected it to be. I thought it was gonna be kind of lame from the things I was reading on it, but I think the trailer kind of sold me on it. It's a very interesting story, and it kind of has my curiosity because it's just a unique, weird story where like literally a kid goes from playing a video game about racing cars to actually racing a car, and that kind of sounds kind of cool.
Well,
Sounds unique and different.
like I said,
So,
it's I think it's cool because it's a real story. It's based on a
mhm.
true story. So like the fact that this happened, I think it's the only way to tell a Gran Turismo movie or a Gran Turismo story.
Mhm.
And I just, like I said, I think it looks 10 times better than it has any right to look, a Gran Turismo movie. Because like when we first heard
Yeah.
about this, even me, big Sony pony over here, I was like, that's dumb. That's real dumb.
I'm really happy they went down this route instead of doing the whole just like it's just about a racer and it's Gran Turismo.
At least it's not the
I'm
Need
a
for
way
Speed
have
movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
It could have been that.
Yeah, I'm much more happier that they're doing this, and it sounds a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah.
And from what I watched, it had my curiosity again. Like, and it has a lot of good actors in it. I always forget the dude's name, but he's from Stranger Things, which is the
Yeah.
trainer guy.
David
So
Tenenbaum. I looked it up.
yeah, yeah. He's also, I guess, in the Black Widow and some other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But
He's the guy.
yeah. I'm very excited. Well, not very excited. I am interested. There you go.
I'm
In
pretty
the movie
excited,
now.
especially
So.
the director. Like, I don't know how they got Neil Blomkamp to direct this movie, but they got him somehow. If you don't know who he is, he directed District 9, which I think is a masterpiece of a movie.
Oh yeah,
I love District 9. So,
it's a
man,
good movie.
credit to Sony. They're taking this shit seriously. Like, we all thought when we heard about all the stuff that we were going to be doing with PlayStation, pictures and all that in studios, that we're like, maybe some of it will be good. Most of it probably won't. They're taking this shit seriously. They're spending a lot of money on this stuff. They're getting legit
I just hope
Hollywood people. Sorry. And, I just said credit to them. They had an idea and they're doing it, which is sometimes hard to say. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
my biggest worry with this, and this is a slight worry, is that PlayStation is really starting to focus a little too much on these cinematic experiences. Like, first it was their games. Now they're like, we got to make everything a movie. We got to make everything in a show. We got to make all this. I'm not saying it is happening right now, but I really hope they don't start just heavily focusing on that more than their games. So we haven't had that kind of thing, but that's a sneaky little problem I have down the line that might come up. And it's something I'm like, do we really need everything to become a show? Do we need everything to become a movie? I don't think so. But I'm gonna hope that maybe this is just a dumb little worry in my brain that it won't become a problem. But
That's
who
also, yeah.
knows?
That's a
It's just the thing
legitimate
that
concern.
could
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, I'm not saying it is gonna be the problem. I never said it is a problem as of right now, but they are coming out with a lot of this stuff, and it seems like they're really heavily focusing on it. And it's a slight worry in the back of my brain that like they might focus on it a little bit more than even their games, which I don't want. I'd rather them focus on video games, and that's what they do best.
Well, I think this
Don't
is
get me wrong.
I think this is an entire different sect. Like, they have PlayStation Studios that
yeah.
makes the games, and then you have Sony in conjunction with PlayStation that's making all these movies and, well, not making them, they're overseeing all these movies projects.
Yeah,
And
I mean, they've been doing it for a while too. It's not like it's something brand new. I mean,
Yeah.
Sony's always made movies. They have all the Spider-Man movies, especially the new Into the Spider-Verse and what's the new one called? Through the Spider-Verse?
across the universe, across the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost a multiverse.
So I mean, they've been doing it for a while, so it's like it's not really a huge worry, but it's just, a small one with the fact that now they're focusing a lot more on their video games being put into movies, and
Yeah.
shows. So yeah.
legitimate concern, but again, until they give me a reason not to, I have faith in them. So
Yeah.
All right. That's it for the news. That's all we got for you guys. Let us know down below what you think about any of these stories. Are you excited about the new Mortal Kombat game? Are you going to play it? Do you think Liu Kang looks as cool as I do? Or have you been playing Tears of the Kingdom? As always, let us know. And let us know some of your predictions for the PlayStation Showcase. It should be a banger. They haven't talked about anything in forever, so they should have a lot of things to talk about. So I'm expecting this to be very, very good, very enjoyable. Like I said, you'll get our live reactions that evening. We're going to record it, sit down. Hopefully nothing gets spoiled. Even if it does get spoiled, we're still going to sit down and watch it and react to it and see if there's anything else in there that we want. So stay tuned to the channel. Let us know down below what you think about that. Again, should be a good one. All right, LTR this week, also known as Let's Talk Reviews. No deep dive this week because if I'm being honest, I didn't feel like it, and nothing really deserved a deep dive. So, anyway, Humanity came out on PS5 for PSVR 2 and PC. Has an 85. I'm really kicking myself for not trusting my gut and picking this one up on Fantasy Critics. I don't think anybody would have challenged me on it. So, but, well, probably Worthy because he's a douche. So, you're not a douche, Worthy. You're a dick. Sorry. Lego 2K Drive came out and got a 73, which, by the way, is the dumbest name ever. Think about that name. They put
Lego
the
2K Drive.
They put the publisher and then what you do in the game.
Which I need to look that up. What even is that game? Like, is it like Horizon?
No, Lego 2K Drive is like a new kart racer, just based in the Lego universe. It looked pretty good. Anyway, I got a 73. Sorry, but
Okay,
like think of that naming scheme.
I know.
Think of like a new shooter that they come out. It's called 2K Shoot.
2K shoot.
Yeah. Anyway, Monster Menu, The Scavenger's Cookbook 67, Cyber Citizen Shockman is 60, and an update, Redfall is now down to a 58. Lol.
That's so bad.
That's rough. I want
It
to
just gets
I
worse and
want to
worse.
remind people that the mock reviews had this thing at like mid 70s.
70s, yeah.
Yeah. Fire that people. Fire those people. Sorry. All right, guys. Out this week. These are the games that you can be playing in the next week if you have the time, if you have the want to. On May 22nd, Inkbound comes out on PC. On May 23rd, After Us on PS5, Xbox X and S, PC. Amnesia: The Bunker on Xbox X and S, PS4, and PC. I guess games are coming to PS5. Whatever. Bread and Fred comes out on PC. Convergence: A League of Legends Stories on PS5 for Xbox Series X and S. Farming Simulator 23 on Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. Misha Masha Chronicles on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Planet of Lana, Xbox X and S, and PC. Star Trek Resurgence, PS5 for Xbox X and S, and PC. On May 25th, Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue comes to PSVR 2. Maquette makes its way to Nintendo Switch. The Case of the Golden Idol on Nintendo Switch. And finally, after long waiting, on May 25th, The Lord of the Rings Gollum comes out on PS5 for Xbox Series X and S and PC.
Cannot wait. So pumped, dude. Oh.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I am weirdly tapped in, and I want to know how this thing is.
Oh, I mean, I'm curious about like seeing how, honestly, ungodly poorly this game is going to release. To be like, I'm just like, ugh, yeah. That's pretty much all I really have to say about what's coming out this week. There's not a lot that's like really. I am curious to see Amnesia: The Bunker. Not a game I'm gonna play, but a game I'm gonna watch people play. So I'm curious to watch that. It's been a while since an Amnesia game has come out. Other than that, no, nothing. I was just curious about the Star Trek Resurgence, what kind of game this was. I'm guessing it's like an MMO or something.
Nah, I don't care.
That's fair.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on out of here. I think I got pizza sitting out in the living room, so I'm gonna go eat that. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who's been watching and listening, we just want to take this time, as always, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're trying to do here at the Experience Point. But please help us to continue to grow by telling everyone out there that you know who even has the slightest appreciation for all things pop culture, that they have some new friends waiting to talk all sorts of fandoms with them. We would greatly appreciate it. Mr. Birdman, any last words?
Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's been a pretty good one. I mean, we had a lot to talk about, not only with hopefully again, just remember to skip on the spoiler section of Guardians Galaxy Vol.3. We do have a timestamp set up for that reason. So obviously I really recommend you do not spoil it for yourself unless you like spoilers, then that's up to you, but I don't think you should spoil it for yourself. But it's a very good movie, to say the least. Also, a lot to talk about the PlayStation Showcase. Can't wait to live react to it Wednesday. It's gonna be really hard not to ruin anything that gets released on it before we actually get to react to it. But yeah, this has been a pretty exciting week. A lot to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like we did a pretty good job of getting through this pretty quickly. So, but yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the XP Podcast. And I'll bring it over back to Mike.
Once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us. This has been another episode of the XP Podcast brought to you by us here at the Experience Point. I hope everyone has a great week. And as always, see you guys in the next one. Peace.
See ya.